Hello and welcome to Dash 28 Live. I'm your host, Mike Adkins, and today I'm happy to bring you a fourth round match from Call to Arms 5. Today we have Trevor Younghusband versus Jeremy Duvall. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hello.
Great to have you here. And joining me here in the booth, so to speak, to cover the match, we have Britton Williams and Steve Forster. Hey, guys. Welcome.
Heyo.
All right. So this round we are playing Loot on a very interesting map, which if you haven't seen it, we'll bring that up here when we bring up their UB room, and we'll talk a little bit about the very interesting terrain map that I think we have Elliot Morris to thank for this round.
I think it
all right, but first let's talk about you guys' lists. So I'm going to bring up the lists here. We'll bring up Jeremy's first. So these are Jeremy's Northern Alliance, but are they really your Northern Alliance, Jeremy, or like
No.
Where exactly did this come from?
Many minds came together. It was a it takes a village, right? So that is sort of how this list came about. Last Call to Arms, I had the countercharge audience vote for my army, and then I would make the list. This time, to just have a being freely diverged from the list creating process, I had the audience submit a whole bunch of lists. There was a bunch of really interesting ones. I picked 3 or 4, and then I put those in a poll and had people vote. And this is Chris Fisher's Disney Frozen Princess list. And this is one which was one. It was very close between this list and Elliot's Earth, Wind, and Fire elemental list. So it is Northern Alliance, and in the list it has a horde of ice naiads with Brew of Strength. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ice elemental hordes. One has Blessing of the Gods. One has Fire Oil. We got 2 frost giants. We got the Ice Queen with Shadow the Saint and Heal, and she replaces her Icy Breast with Surge. Okay. We got Hirim, who is the legendary ice giant. And then we have Sarakina, the Ice Queen, who is the Halpies character. And then just one notice on her is she got fact to be a master of ice. So she also has the same ability as the Ice Queen, that when she's casting on a frostbound or frozen target, she can reroll 1 failed hit roll with spells.
Okay. Very cool. All right. And
that's the list.
That's 11 drops coming in at 22 unit strength. Unit strength doesn't really matter that much for loot. It's more about how many scoring units you have left by the end of the game.
I have played Northern Alliance once or twice, so it's not a completely from scratch. But I've never really played with Frost Giants or Hirim before, so it should be interesting.
Awesome, thanks for that. All right, so now let's take a look at Trevor's Night Stalkers. Trevor, could you walk us through your list, please?
All right, these are my Night Stalkers. I just basically chose an army that was nice and easy, so I don't run out of time. So I've got 4 regiments of Scarecrows. They're my chaff. Then I've got my Reapers that's usually behind them. So I've got 4 of them. I've got 2 Shadowhounds. Then I've got 2 hordes of Butchers. I've got a Fiend with Strider. And then I'm testing out the Shadow Hulk. I've got 3 Dread Fiends because I like Dread. And 1 Butcher Thresher Ripper.
Okay.
Crushing.
Makes it crushing. And that's 18 units. 18 drops coming in at 28 unit strength. And these are all scoring units, aren't they?
Yes.
Yep. Good old Night Stalkers. All right. Cool. All right. That is an interesting list. All right. So now I'm going to bring up your UB room. No, that's not the UB room. There's the UB room. Too many windows open. All right, cool. So this is your UB room on the map for round 4. And Trevor's deployed at the top, and Jeremy's deployed at the bottom. Which of you picked sides?
I did.
You did. Okay, you picked the top.
Mhm.
Now, the terrain on this table is kind of interesting. Let me make sure I've got this right. These two long obstacle-looking things here are actually blocking terrain. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Whereas this
Blocking height 1.
blocking height 1, right? And this disc over here is just like what, height 1 difficult or flat difficult or something like that.
That one, yeah, that is difficult. Yeah, exactly. I believe it's height 1 difficult. Yeah, difficult height 1.
Difficult height 1. And then over here in the middle, you've got these two ice ponds that are flat difficult. And then a flat blocking, like a pit of some sort or something?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. With an obstacle, with a standard height 2 obstacle coming off of it. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then 2 hills, but the hills are also shorter than normal.
Height 2
Height
hills.
2.
Yeah.
Height 2 hills. Okay. So this is a map where the tallest terrain is height 2. There's only one obstacle. There's no forests and no like height 6 buildings or anything. Okay. All right. Cool. And you guys are playing loot, and I can see you've used the red token markers on the center line there as your loot tokens. Those are good. That they show up really easy for everybody to see. Thanks for doing that. And now let's walk through your deployment. So Trevor, if you could talk us through your deployment, starting over here on your left with your Scarecrow Regiment, and just work your way across the line, telling us what you put where.
Right. From there, got my Scarecrows, then my Reapers behind it, then another unit of Scarecrows and Reapers behind it, and a Dread Fiend behind that.
Okay.
Then I got my Horde of Butchers, and then I got my Shadowhound troops, and another Dread Fiend, and another Scarecrow with Reapers behind it. And then I got my Butchers with a Dread Fiend behind it. Then I got my Shadow Hulk. And then I got my Scarecrow with another Reapers behind it. I got my Flesh Ripper. And then I got my Fiends with Boots of Striding. And I got Shadowhounds at the end.
And the last Shadowhounds. Okay, great. And now, Jeremy, could you please walk us through your deployment, starting over here on the left?
Sure. So I got sort of a ice elemental giant action going on. So I got an ice elemental horde on the far left. Harim, you see he's got like the sergeant sort of markings on him. He's in between him, that ice elemental horde, and another one. And then behind that middle ice elemental horde, I have Sarakina.
Okay.
Another frost giant. And then the ice elemental horde on the right of that frost giant is the one with Blessing of the Gods. And then in my middle, I have an ice elemental horde with fire oil, with Ice Queen behind them. And then I have my ice naiad, or I have Chris Fisher's ice naiad horde. Let me make sure. So if they fail, I know who to blame.
Right. It's all Chris's fault.
All Chris's fault. With brew of strength. And then I have on the other side of that blocking terrain, I have my last ice elemental horde, and then I have my last frost giant.
All right. All right. I think that just about does it. Thanks, guys, for walking us through all that.
Sure.
So at this point, I'm just going to wish you both good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Have fun, and we will see you back here when you're done with your game.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
See it.
All right. So I haven't played my game this round yet, and it's been interesting for me anyway. I thought it was interesting to see where people have been putting the loot tokens. And this is I think the second game I've watched where they've put them all entirely on the left and center part of the table, and just decided that those short pieces of blocking terrain were things they didn't want to have to deal with getting around or jumping over, and they're just not going to play over there at all. Steve, you already played yours for this round.
Earlier
game. Is that how you guys did it too, or did you spread them out?
We spread them out a little bit. There are still two on the kind of like left center, but I chose to put mine down on the other side because I outdropped my opponent by like 6 or 7 drops, and I was able to slow play it and end up get that one without much not much contention. But yeah, a lot of them, what I've seen is usually this is probably the third game I've seen where, like you said, or all of them were just kind of playing on the that left 2/3 of the board.
Mm-hmm. And you're not actually playing this time around, are you, Britton?
No, I haven't played a Call to Arms.
Okay.
I'm too busy commentating.
Right.
So it looks like we have Trevor the Wombat has a 1 first turn
Yep.
and is pushing stuff forward.
Yeah.
So something interesting. Neither of these lists are super mobile. In that, like, they have some fast stuff, but there's no dragons, there's no big flying hordes kind of kicking around. There isn't stuff that's going to be hopping back and forth over that, blocking terrain super easily, or really taking huge advantage from the fact that they could sit on one side of that blocking terrain, protect their frontage, and like not have a chargeable spot for someone to hit them and see over it and kind of pick their targets. No one in this game is taking advantage of that, so it'll be interesting to see how they fight. There's a lot of surge from Jeremy, so he's not really fighting this straight up, but both sides are kind of having to be a little honest without the big flyers or big flying hordes.
Yeah, he's got 2 surge casters. The only real shooting he's got is the icy breath on all of his stuff.
The only real
Double up.
shooting is almost every unit shooting.
It's only 12-inch range, though. Like, when it's that close, I kind of stop thinking about it shooting and more thinking about it as, like...
I think Ice Breath is
Uh,
10 inches.
It's 10.
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
only 10?
Yeah.
See,
But-
that's
but,
too short
like-
to even count as shooting as far as I'm concerned. Oh, it is only 10 inches.
Yeah,
I haven't played against
you're
him.
pretty much doubling up with the ice elementals. I mean, the thing is to get them within an inch, shoot their icy breath with piercing one, and then
And then surge in.
Elsa surges them in, and then you just do it again.
Right, but
Yeah,
like Jeremy's not going to be relying on long range shooting
No.
to pick off the scarecrow chaff units. Like, he's planning on getting in close and
There's
fighting.
no
His shooting
ice
is just
bolters.
No, but what he's able to do in certain degrees is he's able to sort of say, you get within range of my icy breath. I shoot you with that once. It's sort of like a first round of combat. It's sort of like getting the charge
Pretty
with
much.
them because they shoot about as well as they fight.
sure.
So it's sort of like just extending out their range, and they get that first little slap in before you're even fighting, and that's assuming you don't get to do the shoot and then surge in. It just sort of extends out this zone of danger in front of them where they can reach out and delete units without actually having to commit forward or change formation or do anything. So it allows you to be reasonably aggressive, like push forward, but push forward in a defensive line while still projecting threat further than your actual charge range. So,
Yeah.
Another thing that we need to note is that apparently Trevor's gone with the Jeff Trash rule of Night Stalkers, where he doesn't have any non-scoring units. So anything on Trevor's side of the board can take a loot token. Which,
yeah, and he's got a very layered line right now, which
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff in front of it isn't super tar pity, but like you do get a little worried about the bucket carrying technique of just like I pick it up, I drop it at my back, I move forward, and now like I have a front line that's just dying, but all the loot tokens are behind me and getting handed off to Dreadfiends or whoever who just peace out.
Right.
Yep. And I mean, loot's only got 3 tokens, and they're all worth the same, and it doesn't matter where they are on the board at the end, right? It's just
Right.
Yep.
best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, Trevor pushing up very aggressively here, top of first turn, and I think that's kind of what you got to do in loot, like getting to it first and establishing yourself and making the opponent come take them away from you. I think is generally the right way to play this scenario if you can.
Yeah, you either need that or a crushing counterattack. You know,
Right.
but you do need to project threat out. It's like the kids game. I don't know if anyone ever played Steal the Bacon.
Yeah.
Right. You go running towards the middle to grab the eraser or whatever it was you had in the middle. And if someone was clearly faster and dominant, they could just grab it and try and make the quick run. But what oftentimes happened is you both sort of got there, and then it was a standoff to see who actually went for the tokens.
Great.
So what Trevor's doing here is he's forcing Jeremy to respond. He has to now step forward and do it, or else, all the scarecrows move past the tokens, the units behind him grab him, and he just starts backing away, and the impetus is lost.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting is that the Reaper troops, which are the epitome of Glass Hammer, I mean, they're 20 attacks hitting on 3s with crushing 1, but all of the all the ice elementals can see over, and they're only 10-12. So there's not 2-3 wounds. I mean, you're putting them in waiver territory, and so Trevor just needs to be careful with. But there's a lot of crap before you get to the Reaper troops.
Yeah. So if you're Jeremy, do you try to shoot past the scarecrows and actually hit the Reapers behind with icy breath?
Yeah,
and then surge into the scarecrows.
Yeah, you have it's 5s and 3s with the icy breath, and surging into the scarecrows. I mean, that's scarecrows go down to a stiff wind. It's worth noting.
There's a few options. Scarecrows are move 5, right?
4, but they have wild charge.
Fourth wild charge D3. Yeah.
Okay, so wild charge D3 makes it a little trickier.
Yeah.
That's on the scarecrows. That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Isn't it?
But because normally what you could do, he should be fine then. No, you can't move it below 4. So his frozen actually isn't slowing them down at all, right?
Right. The frozen's doesn't matter.
So there's definitely a thought to move within. How fast are the Reapers?
6,
I think.
Yeah.
Never mind. None of that works. They're sort of all good targets. I'm just interested to sort of think if he can get in range and just blast 2 of the Reaper troops away over the heads of the scarecrows, that would be great. But
it's 5s and then 3s, so you're looking at 3-4 damage, maybe. And at that point, waiver is if it's 4 damage, you're at a 6 to waiver, which it's not bad.
It's not bad. And just keep your inspiring back.
Yeah, Jeremy has 3. It's the 2 Ice Queens, Elsa and Anna, and then Harem.
Yeah.
So what do we think Jeremy needs to do with his far right? Because he put himself intentionally in a situation where he's got stuff that has to get through that gap.
Right.
To be relevant in this battle. Now, the good news is that's a low height blocking terrain. So he has a lot of options for charges coming out of it. And then he has some options to just shoot people as they go by, if he feels like it.
Right.
Or to potentially surge those guys out.
Is there surge over there?
No.
There's surge in the middle that I think could probably get there for a next turn surge if it needed to.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see where they go. And then
effectively the Ice Queen is speed 6, so you have about 18 inches from where they are now.
Yep.
And then the other interesting part is those ice naiads. That's just a big burly unit that is hard to actually hit.
Then from the ice naiads give up. They're only regen 5, but they get defense 4 in addition to ensnare.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
I guess
scarecrows don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about the Shadow Hulk. It's wasted on them. It's really Reapers are the only thing that's good at taking them out. Maybe that horde is that a horde of fiends in the back?
It's a horde of fiends on the hill, which is why I was looking over here and thinking the best thing Jeremy can do with his stuff on the right is keep the fiends from running into the ice naiads. Like if he can turn the fiends to the right and away from the tokens, and keep them busy or grind them out, and that keeps them off the token in the middle.
mean, Trevor has the Shadow Hound troop, but the Shadow Hounds aren't gonna. They're not gonna stand up to.
All of that is chip. All of that will chip a few wounds off him, and that's it. If he can get shooting on those Reapers at all on the right, then like I don't know. There's not much for me that's really going to challenge a nerve block with regen and ensnare. He'll keep doing a few wounds to it, and they'll keep getting a few back, and there's nothing there that's just going to one shot him. So
yeah, and then there's heal 8 behind it too. That's the vanilla Ice Queen.
Yep.
I definitely.
But also, kind of the good news for Trevor is that it doesn't matter what happens in the middle because there's 2 tokens on the left, and if he manages to get both of those and get away, like I don't think those ice naiads are getting over that obstacle, or are going to like get around that blocking pit and around the obstacle to come get it.
Yeah, I mean, is that a thing that like? I mean, I guess he has to still challenge there, but like, does Jeremy have enough on his left side to fight off what's coming for those 2 tokens? Because he's got a small army. It was like what 11 drops?
11 drops.
Yeah.
At 2,500.
Yeah.
Like I don't like running 11 drops at 23.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of expensive giants and expensive elementals.
I mean, the elementals are 220 just coming off the line. So
it's the giants really.
Yeah.
Like triple giant, one of them being legendary. That's 3 drops, 3 unit strength at 600 and 700 points.
700 points.
Yeah. And I guess Hrim is very inspiring for Frostbound, and I'm guessing like his whole army is Frostbound.
Yeah. And Hrim's is just an anvil. He's dash 20 on the nerve, I think.
Yeah, dash 20, defense 5. Crushing 4, not that he's going to need crushing 4 against anything across the table here.
Yeah, but
so you're paying for stuff you're not really going to use.
But that's the trouble I see over here for Trevor. If those Reapers get shot up or do not get an effective charge in, I'm looking at the 2 on Jeremy's far left, Trevor's far right.
Yep.
Right. There's not a lot there that's going to drop 2 giants and 3 ice elemental hordes. That is a lot of high defense, high nerve, backed up by inspire and healing. I mean, it's thematic. Yeah. That is a wall of ice coming at you.
Yeah. It is. He does have that Shadow Hulk in the middle that if he turns to the side, like it's a Strider, it's not going to care about that obstacle. I don't know. I think best case for Trevor over there on the left is like Dread Fiends end up with loot tokens and running away while everything else just one at a time gets in the way of the wall of ice, and that's the game, right? If he does that effectively, like he wins 2 to 3.
Doesn't have to be pretty. You just need.
I think that definitely is. I mean, for me, this is Operation Sell everyone out in a row, like one at a time.
Right.
Like the Scarecrows go in. Oh, too bad. The Reapers go in. Oh, too bad. They all got shot off. The Butchers stand in the way.
Right. This is too
bad. And by then,
sorry. Go ahead.
And by then they're just gone. And that the Shadowhawk's real job is to cap that other side and keep like that center elemental horde just to the right of the pit from like wrapping around and coming at them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a lot of turns to run. But if you're running from Shambling, that's not the worst place to be.
It's not, and he does have 2 Butcher Hordes over there who can get in and live for a turn or 2 and do some damage and maybe pop something on a double charge.
Yeah.
It might end up looking and feeling a bit like Russian infantry versus German tanks in the first half of World War II. Just go slow it down for us. Just throw your bodies under the machines, please. There will be another wave behind you. It's fine. All right, that'll take us to the top of turn 2.
Yeah,
so we'll see what Trevor does.
No long range shooting, no dragons, and no super fast chaff makes for a quick round 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get there, Trevor.
Yep. That's all you got to do. Just get in the way, boys.
And we'll know right now if those Dread Fiends kind of go up and steal that stuff and go. How slow are they once they have it?
5.
They're 5. Are they nimble?
And they'll
lose-
lose nimble.
At least nimble.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like what, speed 9 and nimble
I think speed
normally?
8.
Speed 8.
Speed
Yeah,
8,
you're right. Speed 8 and nimble.
But if you just turn around and peace out straight back from those
Mm-hmm.
to your board edge, going 10 inches around, and just in the game on your board edge.
Yeah, just the first turn you'd have to you pick it up, and then next turn you spend an entire turn turning around. Since
No,
you're-
because they're nimble. If they're within 8 at the start of this turn, they walk forward 8, pivot twice to be facing up the field,
right,
and then
right.
they pick up the token, and then they just walk 10.
yeah,
And just go straight back for your board edge.
Right.
Uh,
And just
and-
just pat the other sacrificial units on the back as you run past
Yeah.
them.
yeah,
Go get them,
and
guys.
maybe,
Go get them.
I mean, maybe you get tricky and you go behind the ice water thing if it's looking that way or something. But you just
Yeah,
you
just go hide behind that obstacle.
Yeah.
Back in your deployment zone.
because it's hard to pop them in one round. It's not like they get there on turn 7, get one charge in, and they're theirs. These aren't ghoul regiments or something.
Yeah, no. No, Dread Fiends are still 14, 16.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're it's really high nerve. Their defense 4, but it's for 14, 16. That's the same as a regiment of dwarves for as far as nerve.
So
This Dread Fiend on the left is unfortunately not within 8 inches of that token, so it can't get that one. But the other one over here will have to turn once to get there and then turn again. He could do it.
Yeah.
Or the other one over here could probably also do it. No, he's a little too far. But no, he could almost do that plan this turn.
his friends covering it up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the different heights and the blocking. Like I like the blocking height 1 barricades, and I really like the
I hate them.
the pit.
No one is doing it in this game, so I think we're going to see like a really interesting variation of this. But dragons just sitting behind it with their chest butted up to that, basically, or sitting there with whatever it is, 15 mil in front of them, and being able to see that entire battlefield and charge out at whoever they want with no one charging their front. I mean, I guess tactically, the way they're set up, you would still have some options where you could cut them off with your own. Maybe I'm not a good enough player, but having blocking terrain that's lower than the height of the big flyers, I think just seriously advantages flyers in an already advantaged game space.
Yeah. I was looking at this and
like
thinking like, well, I know exactly where I'm going to put like whites, right? You're gonna put them over there behind those walls and walk them up, butting up against it, basically, and then be like, all right, come into the middle, I dare you, right?
And I mean, so that I will say, I sort of spoke too soon. Like, I am fine with unbalanced maps some of the times. I'm fine with like interesting things that create new tactical challenges. I don't have a problem with this introducing it. I just wouldn't want to play on it. I think it's fine to make uncomfortable maps that advantage certain types of builds, as long as, for me, it's usually as long as they're not the builds that are already dominant.
Sure.
So this one
Yeah,
also really, really advantages shooting.
Yeah, right.
I think.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I played. I took 3 wingets and like two turns in a row. I had 2 wingets on one side of that pit in the middle, just lobbing grenades across it. And it was like, yeah, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. The pit, I think, is an interesting idea because I get it and it makes sense, right? Like it's a flat, but it's still blocking because it's a big hole in the ground, so you can't go through it. The blocking height one, to me, just seems to break immersion a little bit. And, Kings of War is a very abstract game, yada, yada, yada. Fine. However, when you have like a height 6 giant that can't fly behind a height 1 wall that it can't step over, come on. Really? Yeah. Like, blocking terrain ought to be at least like height 4 or 5.
I like that Elliot has been experimenting, and we're seeing different things rather than the two of each. Two
Sure.
forests, two obstacles, two height 0 flat, and I like it. And there's some things I think I think would be kind of cool. Back in second edition, we would play with like almost like burning terrain or something like that, or if it was like difficult and dangerous. So if you went over, you took damage on a 6 or something like that. So it's just little things that add to it. It's nice, not playing on an epic birth map every once in a while.
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with some variety, and I'm totally fine with experimenting with different pieces of terrain. I think just for me, like that's one experiment that I wouldn't replicate again.
Yeah, and I think what exacerbates it too is just the low hills. Like you have no place to hide.
Sure. So this is kind of cool. Trevor has moved his Shadowhound's troop all the way up, and that's going to block, since this pit here is blocking terrain, that's basically going to deny the ice elementals and the frost giant here a charge on the scarecrows here that can pick up a token.
So we're still not sure if he's doing Operation Grab and Hustle Home.
Yeah,
he might be just straight up, because this could be a great setup for Operation Grab the Loot and Run. This could also be a great setup for like actually trying to like layer your army and get charges for your Reapers and your Butchers and like prevent multiple engagements. Like this could still be him trying to set up a straight up fight.
Good.
Which I think is a mistake. I think setting up for a straight up fight here is a mistake in that channel where, if Jeremy could pick a place to fight, it would basically be, flanks controlled straight up,
wall of ice.
Right.
Wall of ice. So I hope he has a plan for
a glacier that moves 6 inches a turn.
Mm-hmm. So I hope there's a plan to grab these and bug out, even if it's just a plan B. But he could still be just thinking, I'm gonna slug it out with the Ice Bros.
Could be. He hasn't moved any of these Reapers or the Dread Fiend yet. He might be leaving them back there specifically to leave them out of range of being shot, which would be smart on his part if he is trying to actually fight.
But if he's in charge range, is he in charge range for the Reapers still?
3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, they are.
Only, I mean, if Jeremy just stands there and shoots the heck out of those scarecrows.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, if Jeremy just stands there and shoots.
He can move half an inch forward and still be out.
Yeah, so what has to happen is he has to give some kind of clock on Jeremy. He's got to grab the tokens or do something to get him to move forward and make some of those advantageous charges. Because if he doesn't and he just moves half his stuff up that close, Jeremy can just stand there and blast away and not even care. Like,
true. That's true. Well, he does have a Dread Fiend and Butchers on a hill waiting to come off.
Yeah,
but whatever gets rid of those Shadowhounds. But I understand what you're saying, that like he needs to be able to respond, and he's left Jeremy a pretty easy out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are playing with nice, long, generous clocks this turn, so everybody's still got plenty of time.
Also, note that pretty much, I mean, everything that's not a Ice Knight has Icy Breath. The Giants have Icy Breath. I think Hrim is 10, and the regular Giants are 8, so he could get tricky. I mean, with the Butchers being on the top of the hill there, I would almost be tempted just be like, all right, cool, I'm going to unload on them and try to just get lucky and take them off, as opposed to trying to split your fire. Because right there's Icy Breath 48.
Hrim is 12 and the regular Giants are 8.
Okay, so Icy Breath 50. That's conceivably could go with the Butchers, and 30 of them would be 4s and 4s, and the other 2 would be fours and fives, since the butchers are effectively height 5 and they could see over the height 2 shadow hounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
What does that actually do? You said 30 at fours and fours?
Yeah, because the
Good fours? Is icy breath not affected by stealthy?
I don't know. It could be affected by something. I don't know.
I can check that. One moment. I just realized my books are not at my desk.
We'll go look. I should really grab it and have it handy while we're doing these, just in case these little things come up.
Yeah.
With armies that I don't play, so
Right.
or play against, so I forget these things. Right. How often do I play against Northern Alliance? I forgot that all these units had icy breath. It didn't occur to me until you guys pointed out. That's how often I play against Northern Alliance. Like, oh yeah,
What?
everything shoots. Shit, you're right. Maybe stealthy will help. I don't know. All right, Trevor taking a good amount of time, but he's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Thinking about exactly how he wants to move everything up, and really, like in a situation like this, you want to be careful on turn 2. You want to take your time on turn 2. Make sure
It
you do
doesn't-
everything right.
It doesn't care about stealthy.
I
It doesn't.
think so.
Oh wow. Okay.
Hits on
So they're
5
on
plus
fours.
against units in cover.
Cover. Yeah, so it's
It's the
like
only one.
fireball.
Wow.
No,
I think
fireball is in cover or with stealthy.
Right. I think it'd be cool to kind of differentiate like some of these projectile magic attacks where, fireball is literally a fireball, so it should be that could ignore cover, but it'd be affected by stealthy, or whereas lightning bolt is like could ignore stealthy and be affected by cover, just add a little wrinkle in there.
So did we say it was 30 shots at fours and fours and
Fours
30
and
shots
fours,
at
yep.
5 and 20 at fives and fours?
Well, fours and fives, because the icy breath from the giants and Hurim don't have piercing.
Ah, I gotcha.
You don't? Why don't they? Isn't it the same spell?
It's the spell doesn't give it. It's a
Yeah,
ice
the
elemental.
the ice
special
elemental
rule.
special rule gives their icy breath piercing one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Frostbite. I see it now.
Yeah, that's what frostbite special rule means.
I see. It gives them a piercing one. Okay. All right.
So we're looking at like 10, 11 damage on the butchers if he just unloads with 4 units. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So 11. They're dash 18. They're
Right,
gettable.
they got they got changed to 16-18 with Fury.
But they
Oh, you're
ain't
right.
charged nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah, this must be. Yeah, he must have used the. This must be an old version of his list. Still got him listed
Someone
as dash
using-
18.
Is someone using the free version of?
yeah.
Possibly, yeah. Still using the free version. That's fine.
He's using peasant easy army.
Right. Pre-nerfed, conveniently pre-nerfed Night Stalkers.
Yeah.
That's actually what I hate about that. We won't get into the whole thing, but that's what I hate about the sort of pay not pay clash thing.
Yeah.
It's like I can show up with my easy army list, and you can show up with your easy army list, and they will have different stats for the same unit depending on
Right.
whether you paid or not. Anyways,
Or if you're like a first time player going to your first tournament and you have the the free version and you come with your Death Horror spam, and then the TO tells you that no, they're not fearless anymore.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Rude.
I mean, that's just a good argument for the TO asking for lists in advance,
Right.
so we can spare you that. All right.
So he can give you a heads up.
Yeah,
Hey, buddy,
Right.
your army is
Just-
not as good as you think it is.
All right. So it looks like he just sort of shuffled things around to avoid being in range of the giant all the way over here
yeah.
on the right, and then moved everything else forward in the middle, and then kind of got up in Jeremy's face over on the left.
But he didn't.
Still,
He didn't
Yeah.
send the Dread Fiend.
he didn't send this Dreadfiend up.
Yeah.
6. Well, he moved him up a little bit.
Yeah, he scooched him up, so if he wanted to moonwalk, to run up and then show his ass and pick it up and then run away next turn, he could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think his Reapers
coulda-
back here are still far enough away. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, I think he moved those Reapers up just enough so that Jeremy can't get within range to shoot them with Icy Breath.
He's obviously scared of that. I just think like the Dread Fiend could have just double moved forward and pivoted once, like turned
Yeah.
sideways,
Yeah.
and the next turn pivoted once and moved 5 back. Like
Right.
if this was Operation Grab and Run, he's not doing it yet. He's still fighting.
He's not doing it. And if you run up there with the Dread Fiend and pick up the token and turn, and Jeremy puts all of his shots into the Dread Fiend to kill it and make it drop the token, like the token is still behind Trevor's units, and
Right.
Jeremy didn't kill anything else.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see what he does.
Maybe it's next turn, but
Maybe it's next turn.
part of me thinks we're imagining this whole plan for Trevor that he's
Right.
not intending at all to follow. He's-
I don't know.
He could just
I don't know. I don't know how he tends to play.
my guess is slow because he said he picked a simple list to have plenty of time. And that to me sounds like someone self-aware that he's on a clock.
Could be.
I mean, he took did we start at 90 minutes?
Yes, and they did clock their deployment.
Yeah, okay, they clocked the deployment. So I was about to say, it's still, I mean, Trevor used 25 minutes for two shooting or 2 rounds of movement without anything else.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of the grab and run plan is that once you have the tokens, your turns take no time. You move like 2 units and leave everything else in the way,
Right.
and then let your opponent roll dice. Clocks don't matter at that point.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see.
So what's
see what
Jeremy
else.
got to do here? He's got a traffic jam on the left to navigate,
Mhm.
and he's got kind of a game of will they, won't they on the right. Although those naiads get to just sort of move up somewhat with not impunity, but they're not scared of anything but those
No.
a double from the fiends and the reapers.
Right. Well, and it probably doesn't. They don't really gonna get flanked by a Shadow Hulk either. And if they move up too much without the ice elementals covering them, that's what they'll walk into.
Yeah.
Right.
Ice elementals have to be careful not to get tripled by not to give up a flank, but also not to get tripled by butchers, Shadow Hulk, and
The trip.
the Reapers.
And maybe
Oh,
the
that's it.
Reapers, yeah.
Because if you pop them and leave the naiads alone, right, for
Mhm.
for one round and just pop their support, then they're in trouble.
Right.
And that would put all 3 of those units that triple charged, like down here where these ice elementals were, like with their flank totally covered by this flat blocking terrain,
Yep.
and in the flank of the horde.
So
I think
Yeah.
the way
He's-
that Jeremy has it placed now, he's protected from any sort of triple charge. I mean,
Yeah.
he could send the butchers can stay there, but then he could send the Reapers and the Shadow Hulk there. But unless Trevor balls out, I don't think he's going to pick them up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure either of them knows exactly what they want to have happen in the middle yet. They might both be banking that the far left. with the 2 tokens over there is like where all the action is, so it doesn't really matter what happens here in the middle. This might be a game of playing the middle cautiously until you see how the left starts resolving.
Yeah. There's just also the ability to grab and run in the middle too. Like
Yeah.
Like Trevor does have that ability from it's just 2 out of 3. So like if you grab all 3 and try and run and he's able to blast 1 or whatever, like you've still got 2.
Right.
Yep.
As Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't
So-
bad.
All right. Well, good luck, Paige.
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Thanks for dropping in.
He's gonna watch both.
I think Paige is just on a different brain level than I think any of us are, and he could probably watch both, play his game, and then watch this one, and still be able to understand everything.
Yep.
Oh, hello.
Let's see.
Hello.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. That's because I was just about to say that Shadow Hulk is dash 20, defense 5.
Yeah,
If he's got
it's not
scarecrows
going anywhere.
protecting, right? So if he's got scarecrows protecting one flank and those butchers protecting the other, the Shadow Hulk could just walk up and pick up the middle token,
And then just
stand
double
there and take it. Right?
Yeah, and then just sit there and flip the bird the entire time. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So do we think Trevor gave him that or just didn't quite think it was happening?
I mean, I think the scarecrows he put them out there explicitly as bait. So
Yeah.
great, you flanked those. Wonderful. You're going to get fiends coming down off a hill if you don't pop them in your flank, and if you do pop them, then you'll get them in the front.
Right.
And all he has to do is put those shadow hounds in front of the elementals that Jeremy just put in the gap, and you can basically take that giant off the table without Jeremy being able to counter and hit anything meaningful. Like I think Trevor's got his stuff layered there really well.
He's
looking at Reapers, Fiends, and Dread Fiend can hit a 75 because a Dread Fiend's what, like a 40?
I think that's a flesh ripper. Actually,
That's a flesh ripper, but yeah,
Okay, so it's a
not
40.
as, yeah.
he's large infantry, yeah. So he's about 40.
So yeah, he can triple. And coming off the hill, triple should kill. Reapers hit on 4s.
Yeah, Reapers hit on 3s.
Hit on
The
3s.
Fiends hit on 4s.
Okay.
24 attacks on 4s, fresh 1. They'll get
2
the thunderous 1 off the hill.
Yeah,
And they're
with
vicious.
4s and 3s with vicious, not bad. And then
So that's 8 damage from the right? 8 damage from the
but the
Fiends.
ice giant's also 18-20 nerve, so he's a
D6 plus 8 attacks. Yeah, I mean the giant should get rid of that chaff regiment.
Yeah.
No problem. But then he's out there and open to a triple charge, and there's really because if he walks forward to try to get away from one of those units, he just potentially brings himself into charge range of a Shadow Hulk, and then he gets reared by fiends and front charged by a Shadow Hulk instead of. Yeah, no, he's gonna have to kill it. He's gonna have to turn. If he's doing something like this, he really needs to move the horde up to be ready to pick up the token. Otherwise, he's just kind of trading pieces where the other guy has way more pieces.
I mean, Jeremy does have he's deciding what he wants to do with that horde of elementals on the right side. He could try to move it and either try to get lucky and pop the one of those units, or at least slow it down.
Yeah, I mean, if he could get close enough to hit the Shadow Hounds with Icy Breath and waver them,
Waver would be great.
That would be perfect.
Because
6,
then
9,
the
10.
fiends are just there.
Right. That would be ideal.
that's a long shot.
That is a long shot. He did have them. It looked like he had them close enough, but then he backed them up. But I think that
Only 10 inch. It's
might
only
be
10-inch range though.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah. And I think that's why he's moving these things around, is he's trying to find the sweet spot where he can get within 10 of the
He's got it
Shadow
there.
Hounds.
The Shadowhounds are defense 4, so they're 4s and 3s with 18 breath attack.
Yep.
Icy breath attack.
Yep. And they're 11 and 13. So
Yeah.
you just need to do a few to them.
Yeah,
You don't really want to pop them. You just want to waver them.
them. Yeah, and then do they still have the? No, they're 11, 13. I think in second edition they had like a lot of the Night Stalkers had that extended like waiver gap.
Are Shadowhounds nimble?
Yeah, I think so.
They are, yeah.
So even if they do waiver, he could moonwalk them back out of the way to.
Yeah, but they're still not serving the purpose they want to be serving, which is to be in the face of those elementals shutting down all charges.
Right.
So even a waiver, moonwalk out, the fiends still may be able to charge, but you are reducing,
Yeah, right.
legitimately reducing their ability.
Now Jeremy has to tackle what to do over there with that logjam on the far left, which I'm glad it's him and not me. I don't think I'd be smart enough to do that.
Well, what can he just pick up shooting? It's either everything he can at the
He's
at the
Like
butchers.
he's moved on to shooting, so we'll see.
I mean, that's probably what I would do, is just kind of move everything in so you can see the butchers and just blast the crap out of them.
It looks like he's going for the Reapers.
Ooh.
Not a bad choice.
So it's not everything at the.
It's not gonna be everything at the butchers, yeah.
Is the giant next to them also in range of those reapers?
Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, I think they just nick him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got it.
So he can double up there.
And the giant wouldn't be covered since the giant is height 6.
Yeah. So 5s and 3s and 4s and 4s if he shoots with both.
Yep.
And again, Reapers, very low nerve.
It's a good start.
Ooh, child.
And that's the elite one?
That's the elite, yeah.
that's the elite ones. Okay.
It's
Is that 5 wounds?
Good
5
start.
wounds is a very good start. Now on that he needs a 5 to waver and a 7 to break.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything. The Ice Queen might be in range.
All right, giant at the same target, like we were kind of expecting. 4s and 4s, yep. 4s because no cover to hit, and 4s to wound because the giant doesn't have piercing. It's 5 hits on 8 dice, pretty good. Looks like 2 more wounds.
Up to 7.
7, so 3 to waver, 5 to break.
And also frozen, that's something. Well, it can be something.
Can't be something. And that is what again? It takes 1 inch off their move.
Right. So they'd be speed 5.
It'd be speed 5. Okay.
But if he's shooting them, they're in charge range of at least.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're shooting at butchers.
Oh, really? Interesting. I thought he might have tried to just take both scarecrows off,
That's a good start.
but
4.
if he wrecks these butchers, then
They can all 3 see and all 3 are in range. So
yeah, might as well shoot all 3 at them once you've shot one.
yeah, really. And looks like
This
that's what he's
is
doing.
Hrim.
This is going to be Hrim. Yep.
Hrim.
Hrim
Love
comes
it.
up with a whole lot of nothing.
That's what you get. Legendary.
Legendary, 12 dice, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a world where he's roadblocked enough that he doesn't even try fighting these scarecrows. He just keeps shooting over the top of them at anything in range.
Right.
All right.
It just uses them as his own chaff.
Yeah. Another 3.
Like you're squeezed in that close to the side of the board. He's going to double charges, getting them out of the way of stuff.
And he's staggered. It looks like he's staggered it enough that to shut down flank charges, but also block double charges.
Yeah, because the Giants are back just a smidge.
Yeah.
So he can't fit anything in twice on the Giants. All right, over here, he's also going to shoot at the Reapers with these Ice Elementals in the center. Again, looking for
Damn.
no, probably looking for 4s. Is that 12 4s? No, we have 5s. So
And
5
5,
wins.
yeah.
So still puts him in a waiver range.
Oh, gosh.
10, 12.
Oh my gosh.
And these guys, now, is he going to, okay, so he's going to go for the Shadowhounds over here like we expected?
He has to. He can't
Yeah.
see the Reapers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good point. The
Pretty
Giants in the way.
So 8 and 3s, 5.
5
Oh.
wins there. All right.
It's
doable.
Remember at the
Six to
beginning?
waiver.
Remember at the beginning when you said I don't count this as shooting?
Yeah, I was wrong. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Like this
See,
is that
we all
thing.
learn something in these
Mhm.
broadcasts.
It's just so much. Everything
more
but
you
the
know.
ice naiads. Like
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Fisher can call this the frozen list and whatever and try and make it kind of goofy and funny, but this is a tough little nugget.
Yeah.
Almost everything surges, almost
You gonna Wind
everything
Blast now?
shoots.
Yeah. So Wind Blasted back. And then this Elsa has the makes them frozen.
Do they both have wind blast?
No, just the special one. That's the
Okay.
special character one.
Yeah.
I think you could buy Wind Blast, but that's a 6 that waivers
six
them.
on.
Oh,
It's exactly what he wanted.
oh boy. That
All right.
this has the potential to be a very, very bad nerve round for
Oh.
Trevor right now.
Especially
wow.
that Arabic
That's a
was
10.
there's no
No inspiring.
Yeah. All right. Moving over to the next set of Reapers. And an 11. Oof. Is he close enough for Mind Thirst there? He is.
I think
And a
so.
3. Okay. But a 3 is a waiver, isn't
That's
it?
a
Aren't
waiver,
they 10,
yeah.
12? So
Yeah,
that's
it's
another
10,
waiver.
12.
It's the glass and that glass hammer.
Mhm.
Yep. And then he can't really do anything to the Butchers, I don't think.
Yeah, you could waiver them because they're
16.
That's right.
yeah.
16. So a 9 to waiver,
Yeah,
but a
right.
7 won't do it.
Well, if he wasn't planning Operation Grab and Run already, he should
Yeah.
definitely
now.
be playing Operation Grab and Run now. Because assuming this giant doesn't blow it,
Yeah.
it is a giant.
There's a
Yeah,
giant.
they're-
Giants. So
Oh.
that's
8, so that's
20,
10 to 10 attacks times 2. Yeah, so
yeah, 20.
Wait, why did
I
he
think
only
they may
roll
be
16?
D6 plus.
I think they're D6 plus 6, unless that's. Is it D6 plus 6 or 8? It's D6
No.
plus 8. So I think Jeremy didn't quite roll as many attacks as he should. He might have been thinking D6 plus
Yeah, they're
6.
D6 plus 8. That's 10 damage, so it's a 3 to take it
Yep.
off. Yep. There it is.
Yeah, I mean he had to
Yeah.
blow that pretty hard.
Yeah.
But Giants do have that in their locker, right?
Yeah.
Giants either dunk or they don't.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I had in second edition, I famously had a giant charge a bolt thrower and not even waiver it.
That's what you get for wasting them on carpentry.
Yeah.
Just breaking up inanimate objects instead of squishing real stuff. So that was a tough round for Trevor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He gave that charge. He's now got a giant exactly where a giant wants to be in your face with its front to you and not enough that can kill it in one round.
Right.
Because a Dread Fiend and Fiends off the Hill is not breaking the.
Yeah. And that's the Butcher Flesh Ripper, which is
Yeah, I keep calling it a Fiend. Sorry.
yeah.
It's fine.
Whatever that guy is, plus the Fiends off the Hill, should not be enough to break the lines of What's the name of the city in Frozen? I don't know. My kid's not old enough to have watched that a million times.
I've blocked most of the movie out of my memory. The Butcher Flesh Ripper's combat stats are basically the same as the Dread Fiend. 5 attacks on 3s with crushing 2.
Yeah.
So
It's good for a couple wounds.
Yeah,
And that's cool. That's great. Is it brutal
for a
or
couple
something?
Nah. It's Fearless 14.
It's Fearless 14
Yeah.
for 110 points.
I mean, they're awesome units. They're just not what you want to frontal charge anything really. Like they're great at flanks and sort of sticking in and being annoying, and just frontal charging a giant is not the life they want to be living.
Right. And he is nimble, but I'm guessing Jeremy turned his giant so that the Flesh Ripper can't see the ice elementals behind, so he can't just run around the giant and block elementals for a turn.
The city in Frozen is Arendelle.
Arendelle, okay.
Yeah.
That is not enough to break the lines of Arendelle.
Yeah.
There you go.
And hopefully mentioning it is not enough to get Disney to flag this video to
Right. Yeah.
Copyright violation.
I have unfortunately seen both Frozen. Well, Frozen 2 probably twice, but the first one 13,000 times. Such you get when you have 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my kid's not yet old enough to have subjected us to that. Will be soon. Instead, I just watch a lot of Tayo the Little Bus.
Okay, I'm familiar with that one too. But
So
my 6-year-old wanted to watch Christmas movies, so I got her to watch Home Alone and The Santa Claus, and we've watched those multiple times, which I'm okay with.
So how does Trevor get, like, what's Trevor's move here?
So given how effective Jeremy's shooting was that turn, he's got to punch some stuff in the face this turn to stop some of that shooting.
Yeah.
And he's got to start getting the tokens away to safety. He's still got the butchers. The butchers have 7 wounds on them. They're not going to stand up to another turn of shooting. And he's still got. I think my network connection might be dying here.
We can hear you.
Oh, you're still there.
Well, as long as you're still up, we'll just keep talking.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry.
That's okay.
My network connection bugged out for a second here. What was I saying? I think I was saying the butchers have 7 wounds on them already, so you really have to throw them in and get some value out of them,
Yeah.
or they're going to die to shooting next turn.
They need to double charge something and hopefully pop a nice elemental horde.
Double charge with what?
Good point.
Shadowhounds?
Who's coming in with them to like do a bunch of work? Like nobody. That's what the Reapers were there for, and they got wavered, and the others are out of range.
Right. So here you put the Shadowhounds in and hope they can do 1. But the butchers are going to be too wide to fit into the gap and punch the giant. So now you pretty much have to put the butchers into the other ice elemental horde.
So you'd send the scarecrows in to try to help out. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
you don't want a single charge because then the 2 giants on the corners will be in the flanks of your butchers.
Right.
You don't. I mean, the butchers are dead from 1 round of combat against anything.
Yeah.
True.
Like the elementals shooting and surging, any of those, it's like they're walking dead against anything other than a single ice giant. Like single ice giant charge might not drop it because it's a giant and it has the potential to fluff.
Right.
But
okay, looks like he's going for the double charge, so it at least holds the giants back for a turn.
Yeah.
Which will make sense if he runs a Dread Fiend forward and picks up the token and then turns around.
He's got to. You're not winning this fight. If you look at those battle lines, like he's, those scarecrows die, the butchers die, the shadowhounds die, basically to just single return charges almost.
Right.
and you have a wavered Reapers that aren't going to come in to help. At this point, it's just run, grab them and run.
Yeah.
And you
Grab a
have
loot and
that
run.
you have that butcher unit that's in the middle that will slow them down because it's kind of at an odd angle.
Mhm.
You have the Shadow Hulk that can slow the other side down.
Mhm.
It can pin those 2 units back for a moment and just Dreadfiend and go. And all you're trying to do now is turn off his shooting until you can get out of range of his shooting.
Mhm.
That's what combat is now for. It's not for actually doing damage. It's just to waver units and turn off shooting. So I would almost expect those Reapers to like each charge into a single elemental unit and just go.
Mhm.
And next turn. But yeah, that they just moved up into that sort of. There's this idea like when you're fighting these sort of short shooting lists. We saw it with Mike Grant's list against who did he play on the stream last?
Antonio
Yeah.
Fresco, maybe?
Yeah.
Turning up. Yeah.
We see it. There's this area right in front of their lines that is essentially it's like just the death zone. It's like when you're climbing Mount Everest. There's a point where you leave safety, and you are now in a space that is killing you just by staying there. Just standing
Right,
there
by
is
standing,
death.
by standing still, yeah.
So
Right.
you need to have an objective, and you need to get through that zone as fast as possible. I think Trevor didn't lollygag around in that zone. He pushed forward as fast as he could, but even being in there for a moment gummed up his plan. So he's got to account for that. Like Jeremy is fine just standing there and taking pieces of his army apart. So he has to have a plan. Trevor does to get in and get out quickly and not hang around in that death zone. So
Yep. And so he sent the Dreadfiend forward on the far left onto the token. It doesn't look like he double pivoted in with his regular pivot and his nimble pivot to face backfield.
I think he went too far.
I don't know. They go 8.
he could have single pivoted even.
Yeah, you
I
could
mean,
single because I think he went 9, but yeah, you can
Okay.
still single pivot.
even that would help. Because
Well, he didn't need to go 9. He's overshot the back edge by an inch. He could have stopped just touching the edge, turned around and picked it up. I think that's a misplay there. Or maybe he's got another plan. We'll see what he does.
Because even the single pivot helps him.
Right.
Because then he can pivot once and still get a 5-inch move
Give it
back.
5, yeah.
Right. No, yeah, pivot once and still move 5, right?
Yeah, Dan's keeping us honest and saying that he did just misplay this, and he could have gotten to the front edge and double pivoted.
And could have just turned around. Yep.
Also, I'm getting specific requests to. I'm sorry, Matt Crocher. We did release in Australia. Just because you can't get one.
Join the club.
I will say I did look into the Australia situation, and I made sure that there was enough inventory for everyone not named Matt Crocher. So it looks like that's working. It's a feature, not a bug, that you can't get one. So
I think what he's saying is you have to know people, but Britain is not the person you have to know.
Right. Britain's actually
no. I'm the reason he's not getting one.
Okay.
Because he knows me. That's the
you need to know somebody else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Operation Grab and Go is still on. It's just not being optimally performed right now because right now he's grabbing and going with 1, and he's only sort of grabbing. He hasn't gone yet.
He could move the wavered Reapers back and back the Scarecrows up, which doesn't put him in great position, but at least gets him back. I mean, the wavered Reapers behind the Scarecrows with the token is a problem, but you can back up when wavered, so he can at least get some distance there.
Yeah, but he's
still got to better than turning.
He's got to get that token
On the left or in the middle?
in the middle.
In the middle, sure.
Are you saying Scarecrows pick it up and just start backing up?
No, I'm talking about the Scarecrows that already have it. The Scarecrows by the pit.
Yeah,
That already have the other.
Get him out of there.
So he could just start backing up.
And now the Dreadfiend is your sacrificial.
Right. Exactly. You just wedge people in between the Dreadfiend and that pit, so that they've got to charge him. They can't just run past him and just back up, and then put some butchers in the way the next turn. And by then, if your Reapers are still alive, they can charge through you or run through you and get in the way while you keep backing up. I don't know. I'm not sure what I would do against Jeremy's list. Because I wouldn't really be. I don't think anything I usually play would be much faster than what Trevor is playing. And I think to play this kind of snatch and grab list, you need to be significantly faster than your opponent, or at least it works better if you're faster than your opponent. Like, you really want to get to those tokens in the first turn, and be ready to start running away with them. And he wasn't quite fast enough to do that. He did get to go first, though. I think that's kind of a big bonus.
Yeah, and I mean, he had some speed. He held back a lot of his faster units.
Right.
But I mean, it's still on, and with a little tighter play, it was even more on to grab and go. I mean, I'm almost interested to see if he could do a grab and go in the middle as well. Charge whatever he can into whatever he can to pin them.
Mm-hmm.
Grab it with the Dreadfiend and run.
Yeah, he thought about throwing the Shadowhawk into the front of the Horde, but then I guess thought better when he realized that would put 2 surgible units in his flanks.
Oh yeah, it's dead.
Yeah.
You buy 1 turn from that, which probably isn't enough to get away, but
No.
it's. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. I'll make it go away. There we go.
There you go.
I shouldn't have had hosting powers.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's moved the Wavered Shadowhounds on the far right there out of the way enough that I think the Fiends can come off the hill now.
And do what?
Yeah, right. They can hit a giant in the front with a Flesh Ripper, because they can't fit in between the giant and that terrain to hit these elementals on the far right behind it.
They can't.
I don't think so. I don't think there's enough space there.
Okay. It's absolutely probably right, but
could be wrong. Just eyeballing it, since this is blocking terrain and it's the whole rounded bit there. I think this gap between the giant and the closest part there is not wide enough for the Fiends to fit through. I don't think.
And the Flesh Ripper can't charge the.
And I don't think the Fletch Ripper can see around the zone.
Can see.
Don't think he's able to draw a line of sight around the giant.
How far does the Flesh Ripper go?
5 or 6, I think. Yeah,
I think it's 6.
It's 6. Yeah.
Darn, just out on the side of the elementals.
Oh, the other direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely out. That would have been funny.
Yeah. Decent use of the unit. It doesn't really hold anything back the way he kind of needs to right now, if that's the game he's playing. Interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Why are you bringing the token to him?
I don't know. Like, if you're going to do that, you should have dropped it first.
Whoa.
Like, drop it behind you.
That is the less popular take it and run.
Yeah.
Take it and run in the same, towards the opponent.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, you could have dropped it and opened up a channel for escape for your Dreadfiend or something, or a unit, but that just feels a little wackadoodle. Like, let me just pick this up and let me put it on one of the weakest units on the board and get it closer to your. Like, the only disadvantage Jeremy's army sort of has in this is that it is small, it is not super maneuverable, it can't march, which on a board with that whole left side just being basically open terrain once you're past that could matter. And nothing is that fast. The thing that will stop him is there's open ground in front of him. He's just got to cover, and he can't. Especially if you have some units in the way to keep just surges down. So bringing anything closer to him just feels like maybe I'm misreading how good those Reapers are going to do, but he's losing that left side in a straight up fight.
Oh, yeah.
Piece for piece, he's going down. So
Because
there has to be another option.
There's also there's just a lot of defense 5.
Yep. And throwing those central butchers into the ice elementals in the center doesn't seem like a great plan
Because
either. Obviously he's trying to double charge with the Shadow Hulk, but they'd still be hindered in the front.
Yeah. The Shadow Hulk wouldn't care, but the butchers would be hindered, and you're probably not going to take off the ice elementals, and then your Shadow Hulk gets flank charged with
a horde.
Ice Naiads.
Right, with strength.
With burst strength, yeah.
Right. So that's not a good charge either. Yeah, I mean, Jeremy's army is small and compact, but it's just wide enough to form a solid line between these multiple pieces of impassable or blocking terrain on the map.
So there's two ways to look at it. This either favors a small and compact army, or his battle line is literally a line.
Yeah.
There's
slightly staggered, but yeah.
With 2 wizards standing behind it. There is no depth. Which means theoretically the Night Stalker list with depth could engage with a front line and then do shenanigans with the back lines. He's just not really opting into those shenanigans at the moment. He's taking the straightforward charge.
Mm-hmm.
Roll hot.
Yeah.
I guess. Just roll big.
I mean, it's possible that like Trevor had a plan, and then the way Jeremy's shooting went last turn, like picking up a unit and wavering 2 units, kind of spooked him a little. We've definitely seen that happen before, where shooting overperforming early game causes people to kind of accelerate their plans.
Yeah.
Right.
But like he's doubling down into a bad plan.
Yeah.
Unless there's some 3-dimensional chess going on with those tokens in the middle, it just looks like he's gonna run with one and give up the other. I mean, I guess he can charge next turn and leave it there and then pick it up with someone else. But yeah, all of that should have been happening already.
Yeah. You can get the 3, 6, 9, 10, 12. How fast are ice elementals? They're 5 or 6. They're 6.
Yeah, they're
Elemental speed.
Right. So if you're going all in, which it seems like he's doing, like you put these butchers into the front of these ice elementals, you walk this dread fiend over to pick up that token, and you try to get away before these elementals, like they have a choice to go kill the dread fiend and get the token, or flank something and help pick it up. Otherwise, things grind for another turn.
Dan Miner just said this is setting up to be a quick game one way or the other. Looks like it.
I feel like there was the real potential to punish on Jeremy's left side his sort of slow, not really slow, but just sort of the nature of his army.
Right.
Right.
And so I'm a little disappointed that it seems right now he's not, and he's just walking into that meat grinder.
Sure.
And
yeah, having fast maneuverable units when your opponent is a solid wall between a board edge and a piece of blocking terrain, like, doesn't give you lots of options other than run in, grab the loot, and run away. Yeah. But it doesn't seem like he's trying to run away.
Yeah. I mean, the Dreadfiend is fighting. The Butcher Flesh Reaver is fighting.
Yep.
I
You've
just
got wavered Shadow Hounds that, sure, next turn when they're not wavered, can turn and run into the middle and grab that token.
but it's too late then.
But it's kind of too late, right? You need to pick it up this turn, turn around, and be ready to run away next
They got
turn.
5 damage on them. If you go for that token, you're getting shot off the board.
Sure.
Like, it was
Sure.
this turn to grab it while everything gets punched in the face, and next turn to get out of shooting range. That was the play. Unless I'm crazy and just not seeing it, but like I sort of feel like right now, as these things are all coming in, unless he rolls hot, Jeremy is sighing a huge sigh of relief.
Right.
A huge like whoo, because I think there was a path to a very, very demoralizing victory that might have been open, where you're just watching tokens walk to the other side of the board, knowing you're never going to catch them. Because I've been in that game. I've especially under the old version where you could sort of pick up, drop, and like daisy chain it really easily.
Right.
Where it's been turn 3 and I am not in this game anymore, and I'm just killing for attrition. So,
all right, here we go into the combats. Let's see what happens. I think we're starting with the scarecrows over on the far left.
and like everything I said could be wrong if he just absolutely aces these rolls.
He balls out, yeah.
It starts taking units. Like Kings of War is a simple game if you just roll big numbers and 11s on nerve.
Exactly.
Scarecrows do 2 wounds, so that's enough to turn off shooting, but not really enough to threaten elementals.
But that's huge. That's what they wanted.
Right.
Because you weren't going to turn everything off. There's still the 2 giants.
The 2 giants.
So if you didn't turn off all of these elementals, the Shadow Hounds are going to be the other interesting one. There's a chance they just blast away at stuff again.
So we'll see what the butchers can do here, coming off a hill.
They're
That's
not fully off the hill, though, right?
I don't think you have to go fully off the hill. You just have to start on the hill and charge a unit that wasn't on the hill.
Okay.
Yeah, 5. It didn't matter either way.
And then 9.
Woo.
They're okay.
Nope.
But the butchers. I don't know.
They're fine.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Dread.
right.
From the Dread Fiends behind. Yep. All right, so it's going to be Shadow Hounds, 5 hits, one wound. So once again, they turn off shooting,
That's what mattered.
which is all you really expect them to do. Yep. All right, probably going to be moving to the middle next. Yep, sure enough. Hindered Butchers and a Dread Fiend in the front of more Ice Elementals.
So now the only thing I can think of with those scarecrows is that he angled them in a way that their next 90-degree starts getting them out of town. Like they start heading up and to the left
Right.
and can still run. But
Sure.
we'll see.
Going to be 3 hits from the Dread Fiend. And looking for 3s to wound, 2 more wounds. Looking at 5, 6 with Dread.
Yeah,
Still
11.
unlikely to do anything. Yep.
You need an 11 twice.
It's
Once turned off shooting though.
and that's one they might actually be able to grind out depending on what the elementals on the side do.
Mm-hmm. Looks like 10 wounds on the horde. No.
Yeah.
That was just a hit.
That was a hit.
My bad.
4. No, it's a waiver.
That is a lucky boxcar waiver. Yeah. All right.
Did he waiver the Naiads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Boxcar waiver on the Naiads. That'll help, but I mean the Shadow Hulk is still going to probably get flanked by these elementals next turn. All right, so we'll see what the Dread Fiend and the Fiend Horde coming off the hill do to this Frost Giant. Three hits from the Dread Fiend. I'm sorry, the Flesh Ripper. Now I'm doing it.
It's my fault. I've got you
Yeah.
thinking it's a
It's going to
Dread.
be 2 wounds, Mesa Crushing, so he should re-roll that too. if he remembers.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not. Okay.
Ooh, that's not good.
Only 8 hits. Ooh, only 8 hits on 24 dice.
Then threes.
And then 3s. 6
Six.
wounds. That's 8 on a, 18-20 units?
20, yeah.
That might be the Mesa Crushing roll, unless they're... No, they're vicious, so that's a vicious reroll.
So 9.
9.
I mean, roll hot nerve and things are easy, but
Yeah, if you get a 9, you waver it. That's a 9.
Yep.
That's a 9 and 9. That's 18. That's going to be a waiver on the Frost Giant.
okay.
All right, so 2 lucky waivers in the center for Trevor.
Love it when a plan comes together.
Right? Right?
I mean, there's a
Alright.
certain degree. There's a certain degree to say roll lots of dice. You give yourself the chance to get a little lucky, but I still think that left side is looking absolutely brutal for him. And
Yeah.
if you win the left, it kind of doesn't matter what the right is doing.
It's true.
Yeah, because this turn, so much goes away.
All right, over to Jeremy's bottom of 3. Last turn, Trevor basically went all in. I think they've left Trevor's clock running, so...
Did you fix that bug with the clock?
I did.
Okay.
It was
That's
one of those...
basically that's like 90% of my job is just asking engineers that are smarter than me, did you fix that bug? That's it. That's
Yep.
all I do. Did you fix
Did you do
that?
the thing? Can you give me a date for when you're going to fix that? Can you give me a date for when you will have a date for fixing that?
Can we make a plan to make a plan?
2 weeks?
So
It'll
we
take
can
2
have
weeks.
it.
There we go. We switched the clock over. Yeah,
There's
it
one
was. It was one of those
there's
fun things where like JavaScript is a lightweight scripting, like largely untyped language. So when you start a variable as an integer, at some point during the execution of your program, JavaScript might decide to turn it into a string for reasons. And if you're not careful, you'll end up using normal arithmetic operators on strings, which don't give you predictable results. Like 9 is less than 10 when they're both integers, but 9 is not less than 10 when they're strings, because it sees the 1 in the first position and compares the 9 and the 1 instead of the whole string. So it turned out the 10th time that someone hit the switch button during a match, the clock got really confused because it didn't think it was supposed to check for an update, because it didn't think that 9 was bigger than 10.
Yeah.
All that shit went over my head.
Made enough sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're Jeremy. Now, I do say things are really bad on the left for Trevor, but let's look at what it actually is doing. How does he doesn't pick up everything, I don't think. Or he does, and he is open to triple Reaper charge. I mean, not on one unit, but he has 3 sort of Reapers and some other stuff coming in. Now, my sort of gut on that is that is not enough to actually break the units he needs to break, especially when the sort of Icy Queen comes in and heals him up some. But because he can pick up the butchers.
Yeah.
He can pick up some other stuff. Does he get cheeky and try and shoot the right-hand giant at... Are they in range of the Reapers in the
That's what I
back?
was thinking. Is that you can just have the giant just chill there. And
Are they in range?
to-
then?
I don't know,
Which one?
the left giant.
Right-hand
the
giant.
That
Into
one,
the-
or the one all the way over here?
No.
The other one. The middle one, I guess.
The middle one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they're in
Is-
Icy Breath range.
Yep.
Of that Reaper troop. You just need to put 1 damage on it, and you just need a test.
Sure.
I think that's all he does is he kills everything he can. He blasts them and then
Yeah, I think that's what
heals up and like great. You have 2 Reapers like
Dread
troops
Fiends.
coming at you and 2 Dread Fiends, and that is not enough to break.
Yeah, all the stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, realistically, Trevor loses every unit engaged on the left.
Right.
This turn, right?
And then
Like
possibly that
ice-
Reaper troop.
Yeah,
There's a chance the Scarecrows hold to the
to
Giant.
Brim.
Get to him. Just because giants are going to giant.
Yep,
I always look
possible.
at it like giant against unit, they can fluff. It's not likely. It's
Right.
Scarecrows,
Sure.
but
The giants
So
are going to giant.
here goes Radiance of Life from the Ice Queen, or
Elsa.
no, that's a special character. Elsa, sure, whatever.
Yep.
Sarakina for folks frantically going to Easy Army looking for a character named Elsa in the Northern Alliance list. There isn't one.
for those so inclined to make this army in real life and lose friends, you can get a few different companies make Elsa and whoever the other one
Yeah.
miniatures like
yeah.
that on.
Or if you're willing to move to Texas, you can just play with Dojo because I'm pretty sure isn't this like almost what Dustin Howard is playing now?
Pretty much. Well, I think Dustin Howard's is ice elementals, snow foxes, and frostbite
giants.
lords.
On Frostbite
know.
Lords.
I think he takes Hrim, but instead of the other 2 giants, they're frostbite lords.
Because he does love a surgical monster mash.
He
Yes.
does. All right, so this is into the Shadow Hulk. Dealing 4 with the first round of combat.
Yep, and now here comes the Surge.
I mean, it must be nice to just line your army up at a choke point and have the other guy run to you. Like,
So it's like
he's not
so
getting
what-
a Surge. That's 3 inches. No way. You're begging to fail this Surge.
but the Ice Queen can reroll it. Failed. Yeah, he gets it.
Oh, fine.
And he got a reroll just
Just in case.
just in case.
yeah, he's got the cheesy reroll to get rid of that terrible surge.
They are hindered though, but I don't think it's going to
All right.
matter.
And here comes the shots from the Giant on the already injured Reapers, like we were expecting. It's going to be, what, 5s for cover? No, the Giant's tall, so 4s.
Guys,
That's 5 hits.
2 damage.
2 wounds?
That's all you need.
Puts them on 9.
Yep.
And they're 10, 12, so a 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, anything but.
it's a very glass hammer.
Very glass.
One of the few actual glass hammers in the game. I was actually thinking about this that there aren't actually a ton of real glass hammers. So many of the things that qualify as an actual hammer are actually defense 5 with decent nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Reapers and stuff
Is there a Twilight Kin unit?
Yeah, the
Whatever the Witch Elf equivalent is, I would hope.
the witch.
The old Dark Elf player in me wishes that were the case, if it weren't. Just feels comfortable and familiar. All right, so here comes the Ice Elementals in the flank.
Did they?
The
Yeah,
Shadow
they
Hulk.
shot and now surge.
Shot and now Surge. So that's why he backed the Naiads off so that they could shoot.
Yeah.
And we'll see if this
11.
was worth it. 11, that's 15.
Yeah, 5 twice.
And that
There
will
it
get
is.
him.
That is a 5 twice. It's that shoot. It's the shoot and then flank is so bad because it's essentially a rear charge.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially
You're right.
with the ice elementals, because that's exactly what it is.
And so now basically what you have to turn this unit to face in the general direction of the Fiends and the Flesh Ripper that are on the other side of that wavered giant.
Yep.
Be ready to counter them when they polish off the giant next turn. All right. He opted to go for the Dread Fiend here in the middle and not the Butchers.
Interesting.
I guess he's figuring he should pick the unit that he thinks he has the best chance of one-shotting.
Yeah. It's only 6 on the Dread Fiend, so you need a 10 twice to take it off. That's not going to do it.
That won't do it. Nope.
But it may be with
I don't
the
think they
blocking.
have. Yeah, I don't think they have a flank.
Yeah.
No, they can't fit.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty smart.
Unless they like almost corner to corner charge and end up hanging on to that.
I don't think they're gonna, with the way that the pit is, I don't think they could fit.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We may have talked about it.
Okay. Let's see. And that's that thing about fighting ice elementals. When they get that chance to do the shoot and surge, they're just doubly effective in every fight.
Right.
And that's hard to take into account when you see a unit and think, okay, it's actually getting 2 charges on me, basically, to my 1.
Yeah, it's getting the second round of combat.
All right.
Now, this is one that is fluffable. They hit on 4s. I know the butchers are injured, but like,
Yeah, 4s and 4s.
this is fluffable.
Yeah, it is.
And it's the one you don't want to fluff.
That's a
Right,
good start.
because that keeps
Wow.
your giant bottled up. Wow, that's
Is fluffable, but also back down to average.
number 4, so that's 11. Yeah, UV dice. Giveth and taketh away.
Need a 7 twice. There's
a 6.
They're wavered, but they have fury.
They're fury.
Yep.
Give no
Yep.
shits.
And nothing over here has brutal or dread. That's all on the other side.
I'm always doing that. I'm always like, when it's within 1. Like, did I forget
Right.
dread somewhere?
Yeah.
Right.
Is there Pipes of Terror in that?
There's not even dread in my army, and I'm double checking.
I'm still reading. Yeah, let's read the lists.
Like,
Let's
do I
make
have brutal? Do I have brutal on any of these pikeman units? Oh no, weird.
All right, here's Hrim against some scarecrows.
So this is
This
what
is tough.
frustrates me so much. Is like, if he had the grab and go plan, like this is what you needed. You stalled him out for that extra round. Like
Yeah.
you got the luck.
Full 9 on the Scarecrows.
Could have worked.
And got him.
10. will get 'em.
Unsurprisingly, Hrim does his job.
Tom's over here telling us how you actually play this map. Take an all scouting list.
Yeah. It's like Hrim backs up.
No, the clock's not frozen. Chrome is just a prima donna and doesn't like updating unless it's currently focused. And that's how I've got the clock running right now. So I have to tab over to Chrome every once in a while to see the time.
The real question though was Dan making a Frozen reference?
Yeah. The Scarecrows stick around on the left-hand side.
All right, going into Trevor's turn 4. So the situation doesn't look great for him, but he is currently winning 2-1. So if he can figure out a way to get those 2 tokens away, he does have wavered butchers, which have fury, so that they've still got some life.
Yeah. He could just declare that he's taking those tokens, and no matter what happens the rest of the game, he could just be like, no, I have these. It doesn't matter that you killed the unit and took them. I have them when I declared them.
Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
Yep.
Just a reminder to everyone outside the U.S., we're still not okay yet.
No.
We still have issues.
We'll always have issues.
So little things like deciding that the rules are deny reality is apparently still a thing we do here.
Yeah. It's called cognitive dissonance.
Hmm.
So now what? Dread Fiend into the ice elementals.
I
And
guess
Scarecrows just peace out and
just
Yeah, they
turn
just need
and turn and
yeah.
go.
turn 90 and get to stepping. Is there no
Or drop the token,
Drop the
send the
token in
Scarecrow,
charge, and then
send the Dread Fiend to pick it up, and have the Dread Fiend turn and run off.
go.
Yeah, but he can't run yet. I mean, I guess it's in the same spot, but like this feels around late. That Dread Fiend should already have that token and be going.
Mm-hmm.
But oh well. Like, why didn't he drop it last round and move the Dread Fiend onto it? Like, they could all be one turn ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be improvising one turn at a time.
Yeah, that's
over on
fine.
that side.
If he just now realized it's Operation Go Go Go, no, dude, you gotta get like you're on top of the hill. This is just asking to have like
Yeah, like Rim's just going to shoot you.
Yeah.
To death. Although Rim probably doesn't have enough shots to kill a Dread Fiend. Given
No.
that they're, 14, 16.
And you're gonna, he wavered the butchers, but they'll still fight. So they've got a good chance with the Reapers of picking up those elementals, and then the
They
Giants
should,
are actually gonna have to fight things.
Yeah.
So you got a chance here. It's just there's that part of me that doesn't want him to be rewarded for doing this unoptimally. Like I want it not to work because it could have worked better.
Sure.
Like this is basically the position he's in right now. It's almost the position he could have been at the beginning of this turn.
At the beginning of the turn.
With the Dread Fiends. And then this turn they would be 90 degrees and 5 inches further towards the top of the board. So
We're getting some spoilers for tomorrow's match over in the chat.
Yeah.
I will let everybody know that tomorrow we will have Keith Randall versus Ed Herzig's probably scouting party.
Yeah.
it would be hilarious to me if he took like an artillery list this time. after playing like multiple tournaments with like a scouting tree herder list, which seems perfect for this map. He's like, nah. I'm dunking on people with heavy mortars today.
That's right.
I've
been working this long con for 3 years.
He could take the Chris Fisher
Gotcha.
the Chris Fisher Kingdoms of Men list, the 6 war engines and 3 flying Pegasus.
I'd almost be tempted with like Kingdoms of Men to do a crazy fly list and not even worry about that shooting side. Just have all of those flyers to grab. And
right, you could have a hero in Pegasus, a general in Pegasus, a general in Winged Beast, and then so you could conceivably have 16 unit strength 1 nimble flying characters.
That's basically just a juggling act, right? Just like conga line them up.
Yep.
Deploy them in lines of 3, fly them all straight forward, drop them all on the token, so the back guy's on the token. The 2 in front of him are in the way.
And then just pike regiments for all the unlocks.
Right.
Okay, so what in the world is going on here? I mean, he's sort of rightfully ignoring that right token. I think you just stall and fight over there. Unless like maybe if you get some lucky pickups or something over here, you send the hounds in and just grab it, because why not?
Yeah. I mean, what else are the hounds going to do? Help kill the giant? I don't think it's an arc. Okay, the giant is an arc. But like it's already got 9 wounds. The fiends really ought to do it by themselves.
Yeah.
At this point. Now we see if the butchers fit in the flank. I think they're gonna.
Yeah, they're just gonna.
I think just barely.
Depending on where you.
If he slides
that
out
is so
pixel or two.
sketch.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
that is not. He's got several pixels that he could still slide out, and he's basically touching the edge of the terrain. I mean, it's going to be a hindered because it's on the wall, but
Yep.
there it is. Jeremy
don't
didn't
care.
have to charge the Dread Fiend. Yeah, they probably. Well, they already got
Nope.
5 wounds on him.
I mean, that's one where I'm like, you agree that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Where you don't take that charge on the Dread Fiend.
Sure.
Because you would way rather have that Dread Fiend in the flank than
Right.
than the
Than the butchers.
even hindered butchers is they're normally 4s or 3s this to hit.
Butchers are normally 4s.
So they're 5s.
They'll be 5s. So it'll be 18 times 2 on 5s.
Yeah.
And
that's
3s.
12 hits, 8 damage.
8 wounds on a unit that's already got 5 on it.
It's not good. It's not a good feeling.
And you've got a Dread Fiend over here, so the unit will have Dread.
Right.
And there's where the Shadow Hounds are going to pick up that middle token.
Might as well,
And they'll try to regen
'Cause
them
they're-
just to see.
because there's a lot of shooting, but that shooting's looking tied up. Oh
Yep.
man,
Yeah.
this all might work out.
Mm-hmm. It might.
Trevor may have like drunken mastered his way through and make it all opened up.
It's just all part of the plan. All right. Into combat. So now we just need to see Scarecrows successfully punch some ice elementals to keep their shooting turned off. They do
Yeah,
there.
got it.
These ice elementals probably are not going to survive butchers and reapers.
No, they're capped. They're coming. They're that good ice in a soft drink at a pizza place, where it's cut down nice and small.
Yeah, the chewy
Cool.
ice.
Little tiny barrel-shaped ice.
Yep, little tiny
Yes.
barrel shaped ice in
Yeah,
in a thick red plastic pocked glass.
Yep, that's right.
They got that.
Sure.
They got that good ice.
Yeah, Robin actually bought an ice maker specifically because it made that kind of ice. Like she loves the barrel-shaped ice so much, she bought a standalone ice maker that just spits out little. I don't know why, but we refer to it as rabbit turd ice. I don't think rabbit turds are actually shaped that way, but it just sort of constantly drops them into
Well,
this big
now-
hopper.
Now I'm
Actually,
definitely coming to.
There you go.
I'm definitely coming to Vanguard.
Come to
for that-
Vanguard.
Like all of the other perks aren't enough, but you got that good ice.
That's right. We got the good ice.
Getting on
Robin just
point.
walks around with a cup of it, eating it like it's a snack. Is that 1 wound?
Turns
One
off the
wound.
shooter.
So once again, turns off shooting. Good.
That's all that mattered.
That's all that matters. All right. Butcher's on 5s, only getting 11 hits. Only getting 5
damage.
wounds. It's with 10 plus Dread, that's 11.
6 twice.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
6.
That's
One
what.
time.
And a 6 again. Oof, by the skin of his teeth, right on it.
By the dread.
Yeah. With Dread, gets him. All right. Right now, I'm thinking of that scene in Young Frankenstein when Gene Wilder has been up reading his grandfather's book and has got that crazed look in his eye, and he looks up and just screams, "It could work!" I think that's about where we are in this game right now with
Yeah.
Trevor's approach.
Yeah.
Walking forward, maybe? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to try to block anything from getting to the hounds. Oh, only 9?
hits. Then the
Only
fours.
4? It's only 4 wounds. So that puts Giant on 13,
Yep. You get 7. Oh,
plus Vicious. Yeah. So it picks up a couple more wounds.
you get 5.
11 and a 9. Well,
That'll work.
if you just roll 11s and 9s for nerves, this game All right, and we just have a couple more combats here. The Flesh Ripper on some Ice Elementals, and the Dread Fiend on the Naiads. Where all they're really doing is being in the way. Like, if he turns off shooting, great. He definitely should do at least one move. Looks like he got 3. And then the Naiads don't shoot, so like the Dread Fiend is basically already doing his job.
Right.
Just by being in the way. Yeah. You've turned off shooting. You've got them pinned in between 2 units so they can't get away and surge anywhere.
Right.
You're fine. Ooh, only 1 hit from the Dread Fiend, I think.
Yeah, no, it's 0 hits.
Does he hit on 3s or 4s?
Hit on 3s, but the
Oh, but they have a
the
snare. Naiads having snare.
There's some frosty boys.
All right. So that is gonna do it. And it's gonna move on to the bottom of turn 4. All right, so this is Jeremy's bottom of 4, going into the bottom half of a game of loot where your opponent has all 3 loot tokens, and all of your units are stuck behind other units of his. And almost all of your shooting has been turned off.
Best case scenario here is that Jeremy picks up all 4 of those units on the left-hand side, and then you have 2 giants and 2 ice elemental hordes with surge backup that can hopefully chase down those dread fiends that with the tokens that have stuck around for too long.
Yeah. I mean, the giants go 7, so they can charge 14. So
they have like an effective 17-inch range for move 7, and then ice breath, and then the guys with carrying the loot are only speed 4.
Sure. Yeah. I guess Trevor could do something clever where he, doubles up the loot tokens on one unit and uses the other one to get in the way or turn off some more shooting. Because he's got all 3 now. I guess he doesn't even need to hold on to all 3. He can drop 1 and still come out ahead, so we can get everything away. The center's looking pretty good for him right now, I think. Like, I'm not sure how Jeremy's going to go about getting the hounds.
Yeah, I think
token away from them.
A heal 8 on those elementals. They're back to stock.
Yep. I mean, Trevor's definitely given away a lot of points in terms of units, and he's going to lose more units. But
as long as you have 2 out of 3 of those tokens, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and in Northern King scoring, it's perfectly acceptable to feed your opponent units if you're not losing anything for it. All right, straight into combat. He's basically got nothing left to move. Everything else is in combat already. Yeah. He just needs to break on through.
All right, so
is that
8 damage. 8 damage on the Flesh Ripper. 6 twice to take him off. There's once.
Yep, and his inspiring is close enough. And 6 again.
And twice.
All right. It picks up 1.
It's a good start.
It does. It gives Jeremy some room to work. Of course, they're going to get fiends in their front now, next turn.
Yeah, fiends and butchers are going to
possibly
double
butchers.
Charge. Yeah.
Possibly butcher. I guess it depends on whether the naiads kill that dread fiend.
Yeah. This is 4s and 3s because the naiads have burst strength.
Yeah, and a lot of attacks.
Yeah, 25.
So I guess it depends. You could double up the fiends and the butchers on the ice elementals next turn to try to make sure hopefully pop them, and then know you're still in the horde's way at least.
Right. And hope, and that by that time the
dogs have moved on. All right, so that's going to put the dread fiend on snakes.
Yeah, dread fiends on snakes, which isn't surprising.
Yep. But there's not really any reform options for that horde because the ice elementals are in front of them. I guess they get sidestep.
Yeah, it's a sidestep towards the left.
Yep.
Give yourself a little more breathing room.
Yep. Just a little bit of space to be able to pivot around their corner to maybe do something next turn.
Right.
Or to put them in the flank of the butchers if he double charges the ice elementals and doesn't break them. potentially. All right, moving on. Ice elementals on scarecrows. Looking to one-shot them, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Pretty good start. 13 hits on 18 dice.
And 2s to wound.
And 2s to
11.
wound, that's 11. And they're what, dash 14?
Yeah, dash 14.
10 will definitely get them, and 8 will definitely get them as well. All right. So that leaves Jeremy with a clear path towards one of the token bearing units.
I think it just rolls them forward, just so
Yeah.
It's just so there's very even less wiggle room.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. Yeah,
you have to be a little worried that if you walk too far forward, these Reapers will just flank you.
Yeah, that's true. So that's the safest bet, because right now that Dread Fiend's facing the bottom of the screen, the second one. So yeah, I think with Surge and Shoot, I think you should have be able to get there.
4 wounds from the giant looks like on the butchers. That should be enough.
Yep.
A 5 and a 6 roll for nerve. That'll pick them up. Now moving over to Hrim, who ought to be able to take out these Reapers.
Yeah.
Be wounded on 2s. So long as he doesn't roll really badly on his D6. He got 5. That should be more than enough attacks.
Yeah, Hrim is plus 10. So 7 hits.
10 wounds. So that snakes twice.
Yep.
There go the Reapers. All right. So Jeremy, so far, 3 for 3. And these elementals ought to be able to pick up these scarecrows with 6 wounds already on them, unless Snake Eyes comes out. And that's going to leave Trevor in a really difficult spot here, because now he's got 4 units to block and only 1 blocker.
Right. And all of the units that can be blocked, or that you're trying to block, could very easily one-shot your troop.
Yeah, trivially. Or don't even have to charge it. Like any 2 of them shooting at it will get rid of it.
Because you've got effectively 20 shots with piercing 1, and then 18 shots without, but everything there on that side's defense 4.
Yeah, they're all soft targets. All right. So I think that was 6 combats, right? All 6 Germany picked up units in all 6 combats. That's a nice clean sweep.
Yeah. I mean,
that is going to take us to turn 5.
Flesh Ripper was the only one that I was thinking may stick around, but he had a good hit roll. Wow, is Trevor only at 17 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he doesn't have he doesn't have much of his army left.
No. 17 minutes for the last couple turns of the game is plenty.
That's plenty. Yeah.
So Jeremy swept
the
Britain.
combats.
He picked up units in every combat. You're on mute, FYI.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yep. That can happen, and that's why the Dread Fiends needed to do their thing 1 turn earlier.
Or 2.
Because now you have 1 unit. Right. You have 1 unit trying to stop 4 instead of last turn. He had 3 or 4 trying to. Dude, Dan Miner's over here telling people to go watch something else. Come on, buddy.
Alex is playing.
Alex is playing right now too. I have his going on UB.
Canadians got to stick together.
Whatever. So I have a bit of a toddler emergency that can only be solved by pancakes. Yeah. So I'm going to step away again for 4 minutes in a moment to make them. But first, do those Dread Fiends have a shot at surviving now? Or at least one of them? Only one needs to live if the hounds.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is, I guess the one in the middle needs to turn and run.
Right. But then if he turns and run, I think he's still, check the range, he might still be in the range of the Giants.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're giving it away.
Which way is he? Which way is the one in the middle pointed? That way?
Yeah, the one in the
facing-
middle is facing to the right.
Oh. The one in the middle is facing to the right? Or
Yeah,
You talk about the one on the hill or the one next to the pit?
the one in the dead middle?
Okay,
Like-
so the one next to the pit was facing
Yeah.
down,
yeah,
Oh,
that one was
why?
facing.
and now
Why
he's
was
turned
it-
it
Why was it facing down?
because he didn't turn it last turn like he probably should have. So yeah, so I was figuring like one of the Dread Fiends should drop the token and charge something.
Right.
Yeah. Bucket one.
But I was thinking it should be the other one
Because the way
that
it's
should drop and
the
charge.
way that he's that one and the right hand one is there. Jeremy could just move up, blast him, and then
Surge.
move into it, and then surge into the flank, and then you're just giving away a.
Yeah, it is not safe where it's at.
No, it's gonna surge. No, he needs to. He basically
He
needs to
could-
drop the token on this one and charge it into those ice elementals to hold it off for the turn. Is that what's happening? We're going to double charge those ice elementals? I think that's what we're doing. I think he's going to hold the token and double charge the ice elementals with the Reapers and the Dread Fiend. Which is not bad, except Hrim can see the other one. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. He's in range.
Yeah, I feel like your charges should only be turning off shooting, and he should spread it out.
and he's keeping the token there.
Yeah, and what I really don't like about that is now Hrim is going to rear charge
That guy.
that
And then
guy,
there's-
pick up the
there's
token
nothing-
and be looking at these guys, and he's got Strider, so he'll just walk
Right.
over the thing and pick up the other one next turn,
Right.
turn after that, and turn
Oof.
6.
Oof. I mean, the Reaper could have charged Hrim
Yeah,
or charged the other giant and blocked Hrim.
Yeah,
right.
right.
Both
Which was
of
kind of what
those
I was thinking he
seem-
would do. I was thinking he would take the one on the hill, turn up, walk away, drop the token on the Dread Fiend in the middle, charge the Ice Elementals with them, and throw the Reapers into the Frost Giant to block the Frost Giant and Hrim.
Is he just hoping for another lights out roll that breaks these?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, let me know how that goes. I'm going to make some pancakes, and I might be back to no Trevor unit stuff. Except the Fiends. The Fiends
Yeah.
will still be there,
Right.
having a slap fight with Naiads. But I expect this in the middle to work out badly. So we'll see. I will be back.
Yep. All right.
Into Britain's dilemma. I've been in that dilemma before too. We're the only thing that could solve the current small child crisis is pancakes.
All right. So that's regen on the Shadowhounds, and straight on into combats.
There's not much left.
Not much left. We'll see what these guys can do against these ice elementals here. I guess they were coming off a hill, or at least the Dread Fiend is coming off a hill. I'm not sure if the Reapers were
Yeah, but
all the way on it. They might have been.
so it's a good start. 15.
It's
That's
10.
like 8 because the Reapers are only CS1.
If he gets Thunderous for coming off the hill, it'd be 10. I guess they decided he didn't. Dread Fiend hits 5 times, wounds twice,
maybe 3.
so gets to contribute Dread.
Right.
So it puts him at 10, treated like 11
Yes, 6
twice.
twice.
Is that vicious, probably?
Yeah, it's the vicious roll.
So one more. Brings it down to 5 twice.
5 twice. Yep.
It could work. There's a 9.
Nice.
There's a 7.
Lady.
All right. And I guess he put the Bane marker there to remind himself that he charged off the hill. All right. Well,
So still, it's just
Still a game of keep away.
yeah.
I mean, I guess you walk the Dread Fiend forward to get
Yeah.
it further from the Giants. You turn the Reapers like that so they can't see it, but they're in the way. Yep. Although the Ice Elementals, the Ice Elementals probably couldn't see you around or over the Giants.
Yeah, you'd have to move the Giants first, and then
you run into Reapers. It's going to be funny. We'll get to the end of this game. Trevor will have 3 units left, and they'll all have loot tokens.
exactly, yeah. So both of them are going forward. The Reapers.
I don't know that I like that. I feel like I would have
Yeah.
turned the Reapers. Yeah. There you go.
Reapers
There's a
just
flank
go
open.
ahead.
3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, they won't be able to get there. You really want a big overrun here. Well, you got all 6.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, that's a good start.
That's definitely what he wants there. Far and away and behind. Because now what that unit does for the rest of the game is easy. It just
Yeah,
double
just go
moves
forward.
forward. That one's safe. This one is still definitely not.
Yeah, that one's
But
gonna get a ice giant.
Yep.
And its cheeks. So this is on the ice elementals 8.
Yep. So that's the Butchers doing 8 wounds. Fiends 11 hits on 24 dice.
And 4s with
Looking for
vicious.
4s. Yep. 7
That's
more. 13 plus what? Brutal from the Butchers?
Which I don't think have brutal unless he has the
No, they're not.
okay. No. That's 17 on the dot. Yeah, they're done.
Yep. All right. So that's a pickup there. Now he really just needs to keep something in the way of that horde.
Right.
Um,
Because he
just walk the Butchers sideways.
Yeah.
And turn the Fiends a bit. Yep. Turn the Fiends a bit to cover whatever's coming at the Hounds next turn. I think I would have rather sidestepped the Butchers, so maybe you could flank with the Fiends if the Horde doesn't break them next turn.
Right.
But that's okay. Duvall's turn 5. All right. Time is kind of running out for Jeremy here. He's got a really clear path to get 1 token this turn, but not a super clear path to get 2.
see if Hrim takes conceivably, more than likely takes that guy off, and
Yeah.
then is staring down the
The Hounds, yeah.
the Hounds with not far to go, and if he throws the Hounds are speed 5, so it's hard. It'll be hard to. Oh yeah, never mind.
Good point there, Dan. Yeah, but if once Harim picks up the token, he's only speed 5, and he's 6, 9, 10, so he wouldn't be able to. He'll need a good overrun after this,
Right.
to really threaten them, or he'll need to drop the token, and Jeremy will have to send another unit over there, and he's kind of running out of scoring units.
So it looks like Jeremy's just gonna not even just gonna blast the, or maybe not.
Yeah,
He's
I mean
he's scared to blast the Dread Fiend there, but
that would be one way to do it. Like just turn around and shoot and play for a draw.
yeah,
Yeah, you can do that because now you can shoot the Dread Fiend over the Reapers and be looking at the Reapers.
Right.
Next turn.
yeah, it's bottom of turn 5, so
Yep. He's got to make them drop the token and have a path for one of those units to pick it up next turn.
right. So yeah, if the way the non-Harim giant looks is that he blasts the one Dread Fiend, takes it, and then at the next turn drops it. The other drops it, goes to punch something, and then the other giant picks it up.
Comes and pick it up. Yeah, he could do that.
Or not.
I think there's also a fun world where he walks the Ice Elementals over to shoot the Dread Fiend here at the bottom. And then next turn, if the Reapers don't go down there to pick it up, he could walk them and then surge them onto it, maybe. if he can't walk far enough. Because if the Reapers go over there to pick it up, then you could just charge the Reapers
Right.
and kill them for it. Yeah, you really want to leave this giant, just somewhere where it can see to shoot but not be seen by the Reapers. I really feel like he should have turned these Reapers to threaten.
Yeah, I think sending the Reapers forward was a mistake.
Yeah. I'd rather they be in a position to threaten rather than in a position to run down and pick up the token if the Dreadfiend drops it.
So the remaining ice elemental horde's back to normal with Sarkana's Radiance of Life.
Radiance of Life, yep.
Or whatever the hell her name is. Elsa.
And there's the regen roll on the Ice Naiads. Picks up 1.
And then probably gets healed with heal 8 on the other.
I would guess.
1.
Unless he's got another spell he really wants to cast instead. Like, I don't know if they have
I think that's just heal and
heal and surge. Yeah, looks like it's all it's got. So no Bane Chant or anything there. Just to heal. Might as well. Just in case you get double charged by Butchers and Fiends. Although I'm not sure. Well, once he backs the Shadow Hounds up, and the Butchers can slide all the way over to their final position, there'll be room for the Fiends to get in.
So 6 damage is a good start for.
That's a very good start. Yep. And now the Ice Giant, also shooting at the Dread Fiend. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Ooh. One more.
Makes the damage stick though.
Yep. That's 7. So they need what? A 7?
Yes, you need a 7 to waver and a 9 to kill, and I don't think there's any Mind Thirst available.
No, she's there.
Is that within 12?
I think so. I can't click on her right now, but I think so. Surge roll, probably.
I think he's seeing how far he can go without putting the ice elementals in the range, sight range.
Of the Reapers, yeah.
Reapers.
That'd be bad.
Yeah.
Just give away a flank accidentally. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, I mean, they're not really in charge range. I guess the Dreadfiend is frozen, so it's not really going anywhere.
The Dreadfiends gets. Maybe not.
Did that in the wrong order. He needs a surge. Oh, I see. He needs a surge to be in range first.
All right.
Okay.
So the giant gets the one from the giant sticks.
The one from the giant sticks, yep.
So
I guess he's going to cast Surge on the Ice Elementals to walk them into range. Right. 6, 9, 10. Right, because he's a little bit out of range there.
He needs a success.
Yep.
Yes, Jeremy, you did totally screw it up.
That's okay. 10 inches is such a weird range for shooting to remember. I'm sure if I played this army, I would measure 12 inches all the time for shooting. Yeah. So we'll see. Jeremy may or may not be rolling Surge and then shooting, or he may just be foregoing it. I'm not sure. They might be discussing it.
Because again, Jeremy doesn't want to go too nuts with the Surge and put him in range of the Reapers.
Right.
So 5, I think they'd be okay.
5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof. Yeah. That puts them there.
It sure does.
So they will get. It'll be a hindered flank charge, but they will be able to fit in the flank.
Yeah. So it's that's 40 attacks on 4s and 4s.
Yeah. That's the risk of using Surge to position yourself. Sometimes you can go further than you want to and leave yourself in a really bad position.
Yep. And this is
super risky.
and only does
Only does 4? 3? 3.
Yep.
So fewer wounds. Puts him at a total of 4.
So there you need a 10 to waver.
Yeah. That is going to be a very tall order.
It's good.
7 is not going to be enough. 7 is not enough. Nope. All right. Now on to combat. So here's going to be Hrim in the rear of the other Dreadfiend. This is probably going to be a Snake Eyes situation, I would guess.
Yeah, because that's 16 times
Times
3.
3 or however many. Not sure he rolled enough dice there.
You did.
8 plus 4. Maybe. Kind of doesn't matter. It's kind of overkill.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that oversurge down there, without getting the Dreadfiend, might mess up Jeremy's plans.
Yeah, because it's just if nothing else, it's 220 points of attrition.
Yep. All right, so the score is currently 2 for Trevor and 1 for Jeremy.
Yep.
Jeremy's picked up a token with Hrim. It looks like he's turned Hrim a little bit.
Yeah, just so he's got a straight.
He's got a straight shot, but he is not in range.
Yeah, I mean he could just.
Oop. That's an 11. That's going to be a reroll on the butchers.
Yeah, that's
waiver, but they have Fury, so it doesn't matter. Okay. And I think that's going to be the end of Jeremy's turn. That is going to take us to the top of turn 6. The score of 2-1 in favor of Trevor. And we will see if he can hold on to 2 tokens, which I think he's in pretty good shape. He's got to back the Shadowhounds up to allow himself a double charge on the Horde, and that will put them out of Hrim's charge range unless he drops the token.
Or if he wants to be cocky, he could move Hrim up, still holding the token, and go for the draw and and hopefully Hrim's ice breath takes them off. I mean, that's kind of
sure. Or I guess he could have the Shadowhounds drop the token, charge Hrim, and have the Fiends turn and walk over and pick up the token.
Yeah.
And then Hrim's not going to be able to get around those hounds. And then here, this will be he'll turn and, oh no, that's not a good place.
No.
Why did you turn the Dreadfiend? No, you should have just marched straight forward with him.
He's going to be able to block up
the giant. Be able to block both of them. Okay. I was about to say, no, if you just charge, well, I guess he's worried that if he flank charges the Ice Elementals and doesn't kill them, then the Ice Elementals will be able to still see the Dreadfiend.
Oh, right. I mean, no. Why aren't you just charging? I think he's just going for the safe bet and just blocking him up.
And just blocking them up, but they can just shoot the Dreadfiend to death and make him drop the token.
Right.
Well, that's a playing for a draw, not playing for a win kind of thing.
Yeah.
What happened?
So Jeremy's didn't have the Ice Elementals in the left bottom corner in range of the Dreadfiend, so he had to surge, but the surge took him into the arc of the Reaper troop, but it doesn't look like Trevor's going for that. He's just taking a hinder charge on the flank there of the
what? So did the Reapers and the Dreadfiend break the Ice Elementals they charged?
They did. The ones over here by the pit. Yeah, no, he
that's surprising.
Got that. And here's him. Here's the Shadowhounds dropping the token that he suspected and getting in Hrim's way. So we expect those butchers to just furiously countercharge the horde,
Yeah.
and the fiends to turn and walk over and pick up that token.
Right, because
Or-
he just
Yep. And now down here at the bottom, instead of taking a flank charge, see, you can still move at the double with a loot token. So that
Right.
Dreadfiend could have walked 10 inches forward and probably gotten out of arc of the giant, and you could have flanked the ice elementals with these reapers. But if he fails to kill the ice elementals with the reapers, then the ice elementals can charge the Dreadfiend and kill it. Or the giant could walk and turn and still shoot at the Dreadfiend next turn and potentially get it to drop a token. So he's playing it kind of safe, but this just means both of those units are going to try to walk forward enough to shoot at the Dreadfiend and kill it. Like this seems a little more like playing for a draw.
see. I don't like that either. 'Cause he's opting for a double charge there with the. So that would be the butchers taking the token.
Yeah.
And it doesn't kill the ice naiads, which hitting on 5s with both of them.
Yeah, if he doesn't kill them, then the naiads just countercharge the butchers and take the token away.
Yeah, and then you hope that the game ends there.
Right. Right, and then it would end up
like
2-0 for Jeremy.
Why even put those butchers into combat?
I mean, we would have kept Mike and I were saying you'd keep the butchers and you countercharge because they have fury, and then just walk the fiends over and pick it up.
Yeah, like the butchers were wavered.
Yeah,
so you couldn't really
sure.
do
I
anything
mean,
else with them.
I guess what I should say is, why even have the unit with the token
this is
in combat? and do whatever you can to it's always a great spot to be on turn 6/turn 7 to have them engaged with a unit that doesn't have the token. It's this wonderful buffer. There aren't that many ways in Kings of War. It's not one of those like multi-charge, charge after charge after charge domino games. Usually, if you are not engaged with the unit,
you're agreeing with us that he should have picked up the token with the fiends instead of the butchers, right? Okay.
Yeah, whatever it was to keep the unit
double charge
that's in combat.
The double charge
with the animal.
It's a very low chance of you doing anything to those ice naiads, which he didn't. I mean, he did 9 damage to them. Well, 8 damage, putting up the 9, and then rolled a 3 for nerve. So now Jeremy just countercharges the butchers who are already at 6, and I don't know. Yeah,
and tonks them.
Yeah,
because right now, if the game if Jeremy countercharges the butchers, if he takes them off, they steal the token, and the game ends at turn 6. Jeremy wins 2-1.
Right. Like Trevor had a worst case scenario draw, which he seems to have just turned into a worst case scenario loss by picking up the token with the butchers instead of the fiends and moving them out of combat.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 back on the regen from the ice naiads.
Gonna need to have a talk with Jeremy after this. He's getting a lot of gifts right now.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you cuddly assassin.
You filthy animal.
So like I said, I missed it. Did the Reaper / Dreadfiend just roll well against the ice elementals, or did I not do the math on that? Like
I think they rolled fine, and they rolled well enough on the nerve check.
Yeah, it was. I think you need like an 8 or a 9.
Twice, right? Because of Harim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he could have. And then he just walked both the Reapers and the Dreadfiend forward instead of walking the Dreadfiend forward and turning the Reaper to look at the flank of the Giants.
Yeah, I feel like Trevor had a couple opportunities to secure this game and didn't.
Sure, and just didn't see them there.
good dice are keeping them in it. At critical moments are keeping them. I mean, they both had pretty strong dice.
Sure,
Jeremy's been shooting like they hit on threes the whole game.
it's true.
So
Time wise, Trevor has 2 minutes left on the clock, so he doesn't really want to have to see a turn 7. Although he doesn't have much left on the table. Like he could do a turn 7 in 2 minutes here.
yeah, I mean, is that yeah, and UB makes that a lot easier. I find in the final 2 minutes in a real game that like just rolling the dice takes some. I know it doesn't take a lot of time, but when you have 2 minutes left and you're spending time like counting dice and picking them up and doing all that, it can be
Right.
frustrating.
So it's going to come down to a couple of critical things here. Can he shoot that Dread Fiend to death who's carrying the token? And can he kill those butchers? Or can he kill those butchers?
Right.
I
think
think
roll.
I think both. I think it gets both.
It's entirely possible that both happen. So we'll see. Here comes the shooting. If this works out for him, this will turn the game into a draw.
That's 5 hits with the giant. And 3 wounds.
3 wounds puts it up with 7.
I mean, Tom has an interesting point here that I think we missed, but where's the wind blast?
It's behind the giant right now.
Yeah, it's behind the giant.
Did it have an opportunity to move and wind blast those reapers out of the way to clear a charge lane?
No, because it was just there this turn.
Where was it at the beginning of the turn?
I don't think it moved.
Yeah, so if it just went 5 inches into the reaper's flank and then wind blasted it, right next to that giant, basically. Oh no, then it wouldn't. I see.
They wouldn't be able to charge.
You would have to take a really long surge.
So that is going to be a 7.
15, so it's wavered again.
Yep.
Well, it's wavered. It's not wavered again.
I'm about to say, and with his other character over there, even if he'd have broken it, he would have had to re-rolled.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Trevor keeps at least 1 to the end of the game or turn 7.
Here's the. Yeah, that's Hrim.
This is Hrim. Yep. Hrim on some pounds, which he should pick up without much difficulty.
those ice naiads regen and healed all of their damage away, right?
Yeah.
Stupid naiads.
So Hrim doesn't.
Ooh, that's not enough. That's only a 3. So Harim is staying behind some dogs. Now we'll see if the ice elementals that he surged into the Reapers can get them out of the way in case it's a turn 7.
I mean, he's got a token. He doesn't even really care.
Yeah, there's
not really.
Even if there's a 7, aren't going to take it.
Dogs aren't going to eat him. Reapers can't charge him. Butchers can't charge him. Butchers should be dead. Fiends aren't going to get him. I don't think
So these are hindered ice elemental horde on the Reapers.
Still 10 hits on a hindered charge. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, just roll 5s.
Yeah, just roll really. Yeah, I don't know what Jeremy did with the. Dan's asking.
I think we've determined that Jeremy has no idea how giants work.
Yeah, I don't.
I think Jeremy's confused that Hrim gets a couple more attacks than the elementals. Oh, and with a 4, he only wavers the Reapers, so they're not out of the way.
All right, this is the one that matters.
This is kind of the one that matters. Yep. Yeah. If he can do this, then he's got the game won. Even if the game ends on turn 6 here. No other combats have gone his way this turn. We'll see if this one does. Is that only 9 hits?
5 wounds.
That's 11. Ooh. I think he may have moved his character back far enough. There's a 10.
Yeah. That's
If the character's out of range of Mind Thirst, then that will pick them up. And
Yeah.
11
Yeah.
will certainly do it. All right.
that's how you do with this game. It's just
Right. Just roll 10 or better on nerve checks. You're fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So he turns like that, and
then rolls for a turn 7, which he doesn't really care whether he gets or not at this point, because nothing's going to kill Grim and nothing's going to kill that horde.
I mean,
Hurts the dash. So
I would rather not give him the chance to roll that out
Sure.
and just take the win now, please.
Sure. I mean,
so
he's
rolled 7.
two out of 3. Okay, we go to turn 7. This should be a very
Okay.
quick turn 7 since 2 out of
Right.
3 of his units are wavered.
Right. So the only thing that I'm playing 7, so
Jeremy has a chance here to maybe pick up the 3rd token.
He has a chance to table him.
He has a chance to take them, yeah.
Like,
so the only thing
On-
Trevor.
unlikely that he'll fully take off the fiends in one go, but if he rolls hot with them, but I mean,
the fiends
he disengages with the ice elementals, shoots again, double shoots again at the
Dread Fiend.
Dread Fiend.
No,
Should get him.
the Giants should just charge the Dread Fiend at
Or
this point.
Giant charges the Dread Fiend. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be able to do it. Just walk forward, pivot, hit it.
Yep.
It's already got 8 wounds.
Sure. Then disengage and shoot the Reapers, and then
And then,
charge
and
into
then
them.
surge back into them
And
for fun.
surge into them. Hrim bangs on some doggy heads,
Mm-hmm.
and
So 5 damage of the ice naiads. They're fine.
Not a 7. Yep, no, he's not going to get that. All right. I doubt these dogs are going to go so buck wild that they kill Grim.
They do
I mean, you
damage
can maybe even get extra tricky. No, because
Yeah,
if you
not
move that
even
close,
good.
you can't move that close to the
to You're
Reapers.
20, so there's
I mean, yeah, that would be a fun, sneaky trick that you could do if that left you in a better position, which it could, but
If your
at this point it wouldn't.
fiends still had their token instead of the butchers, then you could have found a way to secure a draw with that.
I think he's talking about the Dread Fiend there.
Yeah. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, right now that doesn't matter.
Right now. You could do that to keep the 3rd token from Jeremy, but the fact that wouldn't leave you in a draw, leave you secure a draw versus a loss.
It looks
At
like
this
he
point.
didn't even charge them; he just shot them.
yeah. He just shot him and then surged the ice elementals back in.
I don't know why Jeremy didn't charge. I mean, picking up that token would be another bonus point, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It would give him the max bonus points because each token you're carrying counts as 2.
2
So-
up to 5. Yeah.
Up to 5. So if you're carrying all 3 of them, you get the full 5.
Perhaps he didn't charge the Giant because he's hoping to avoid playing like Jeff Trace or Stephen Devonish or something like that next to him. It's a stand back kind of thing.
I don't want to win too big, guys.
Right.
I gotta keep this hunt for Red October going.
All right. I'll be right back.
So he takes off the Reapers. Unsurprisingly.
Dan, stop asking questions about why did Jeremy do something wrong. We don't know. We don't
He's
know.
never played this army before.
That's not entirely true. He has been playing Northern Alliance with a lot of ice elementals, just not with giants.
Right.
So keeping him honest here, saying, "Oh, I haven't really played this army," means I haven't played with 3 giants.
Right.
but he has played with the other stuff. So
It's not wrong. It's just not optimal. All
Uh,
right. So
yeah.
8. Is that an 8? Yeah, they're fine.
they're fine. Cool to fight.
So Trevor's only unit is a horde of fiends.
Yep, there's a horde of fiends left.
Yep.
So that should be fast on the attrition math.
Yep. So it's a horde of fiends with a J boot. So that's what 230 or 215.
Yeah. That's always those games where at least it's easy to count up at the end. Take my
So-
army list, subtract horde of fiends. That's how much you got.
Right. And so it looks like Jeremy's looking at the just one, so 24, because with the attrition, he'll get full points for attrition, and then he'll just miss the 1 point targeting, not having all 3 tokens. So yeah, it's a 24-point win for Jeremy, and whatever Trevor gets for attrition. I mean, he killed 4 hordes of ice elementals and a giant.
And a giant, yeah.
So I know everyone's on tenterhooks about this one, but the pancake emergency was solved. Pancakes were delivered to an angry toddler, and he got less angry as soon as there were pancakes. So
Awesome.
Good game,
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you for the update. Welcome back, guys. Welcome
Hello.
back. Thanks.
Congrats to Jeremy.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks. Thanks for letting us watch
Close
that.
game.
That was very cool. That was very cool to watch. Yeah, congrats to Jeremy. Yeah, for a good amount of that game, we didn't really know how it was going to turn out. That was really interesting to watch. 2 very different style lists. One, this sort of like grindy wall of ice, and the other just sort of a everything is expendable type of approach to the armies. And yeah, like it was. There were several turns in the middle there where we were like, this plan could be working, and then Jeremy would go and we're like, no, this plan is probably not working. And then Trevor would go and be like, oh no, he's going to pull it out. He's going to get away with them. This is going to be awesome. But in the end, it seems like Jeremy finally ground out all the chaff that Trevor could throw at him. So again, thanks for letting us watch that game. Did we have any specific questions? I think one that popped up was why you didn't charge the Dread Fiend with the token with your giant in the last turn, Jeremy.
Oh, I couldn't fit.
Oh, you couldn't fit? Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't fit between the Reaper troop and the building. It wouldn't fit.
I think for me the main question is at some point, Trevor, you decided that the best way to win was to grab the tokens and run, right?
Yes. It was my
Was that your strategy from the beginning, or did you pivot to that at some point?
No, that was my strategy, because I just look at his war
Mhm.
and his ability to shoot over my chaff and that. And once you start wiping out my Reapers, yeah.
Yeah, we were thinking Operation Grab and Go was the right plan from the beginning. So it was interesting to hear that was also your plan from the beginning.
Yeah, he had so many drops, right? He really outdropped me, and I was hoping just to like pick off a couple pieces and just try to get enough of his units off the board so that when we got into grinding, he couldn't, feed me stuff while his things were running away the whole turn.
Yeah. And I think, Jeremy, you had a pretty good round of shooting up front. What you like pop one unit and wavered a couple of units. And sometimes when shooting performs really well very early in the game, it tends to make opponents start second guessing their plans or kind of accelerate their plans a little bit. Trevor, did that like first round of shooting rattle you at all, or did you just kind of expect that you were going to take those kind of losses?
Well, he didn't take the bait and hunt down the Shadowhound. He just sat back and shot the bigger threats. So, yeah. I sort of expected. That's why keeping half my Reapers out of his range, so if he did move forward or try to shoot me.
Right.
Yeah, those Reaper troops are so good. And at 5s with cover and 3s, I felt if I could just get maybe 1 or 2 hordes on one troop, that I could get there. But yeah, the first turn of shooting, of wavering one and then killing the other, put me in a really good spot. But then thankfully, the next turn he 12'd my horde and then wavered that giant, which in the end didn't really was okay. But thankfully, he had a good nerve roll that next turn to kind of stay in there. I think if he doesn't waver the horde, I don't know if I do the ice elementals into the flank of his
The Shadow Hulk.
The Shadow Hulk. I may use the ice elementals to deal with the fiends and just know that and just grind with him with ensnare with that horde. But when they got wavered, I was like, okay, I need to take that Shadow Hulk piece. And then at that point, it was like, can I delay enough in the middle and then get the 2 on the left? That was pretty much my plan from the beginning. Was just maybe I get the middle token, which thankfully I was able to kill those butchers on that last turn, which was huge. I mean, that was a pretty huge combat to get. I needed it to go the numbers, and thankfully it did.
Yep. Yeah, we were watching the game and figuring it out. Like towards the end, we're like, okay, if this happens and this happens, then Trevor wins. And then a turn later, we're like, okay, if this happens and this happens, it's a draw. And then finally at the end, it's like, okay, if Jeremy can do this one thing, if he can pop these butchers, then he'll flip it over to a win. Otherwise, it might end up as a draw. Yeah, so like very, very interesting swingy game where the outcome was not entirely known. Looks like we got a question from one of the viewers. Trevor, were you tempted to take your Abyssal Dwarfs you played before when you saw what the map was going to be for this round?
I took the Night Stalkers because it's easy and I have time to get things done, so it's getting low to the clock. Just the UBs, when you got a timer on it, I need something I don't have to think too hard.
That's fair.
There's much more set piece in that.
And then we know Jeremy had his list picked by the internet. But the real question is, Jeremy, when you put up the poll of 3 lists for people to choose from, why did you only put up the most broken lists?
Yeah,
well, I mean, I thought that was.
Yeah,
Well, okay.
I was kind of upset that
The most interesting list is
You
what
should have seen. You should have seen what people sent me. So
like the 3 Axe Legions that I sent you,
yeah,
which I thought you should have taken.
and maybe I tried to pick like the Earth, Wind, and Fire list by Elliot was interesting. I mean, really, like the 3 that I put up to be voted. You should have seen what like Keith Randall and Tom Annis sent me. So just be happy that those weren't in the poll to be chosen. Considering
if you want to be really nice to Matt G, you should show everyone the list that Tom Annis sent you, since he's playing him this round. That's probably what Tom will play.
yeah, I mean, some people sent me some nasty stuff, but it was fun. It's always interesting. I made a pretty big mistake at the end. I moved the elementals up and just eyeballed them in range of his Dread Fiend.
Yeah.
And they turned out that it didn't. So then I had to surge them forward, which put them in a really like kind of sort of funky place. But I think the Frost Giants are pretty good. I think in this matchup, being able to do their breath attack helped me a little bit too. And I had them in between the ice elementals, so essentially the frontage was so small they couldn't be charged. So they were like kind of like my shoot, do a little here, do a little there. That was sort of the idea.
Yeah, and not get that ice breath ignores stealthy, and then the giants are height 6, so they can they're not getting cover because they're taller than everything.
There's everything short on this map.
And with shooting against Reapers or Night Stalkers in general, they don't have a lot of defense 5. So if you can get stuff over on 4s, then you could take advantage of that low defense. But just so many drops. I think this is a scenario that I have a chance against that many drops. But if we were playing, a more spread out unit strength sort of scenario, it would have been a lot harder, I think, just because you had so many drops and everything scored,
Yeah. And the way the map was laid out, like kind of allowed you to anchor yourself between pieces of terrain easily.
Yeah, the map was very fortunate in that I was able to do kind of like a deployment like this, basically, but using those impassable terrain to sort of just, like you said, get that wall of ice. And then it was just like, let's grind and see how the dice go.
Great. Any other questions from the panelists before we wrap up? Nope. All right. So once again, thanks to Trevor and Jeremy for letting us watch your game. Very well played game on both sides. Very interesting and exciting to watch. Fun, different lists being played well is always a good game to watch, especially when it keeps swinging back and forth and you can't tell who's going to win until the very end. So
yeah,
thank you for that.
super interesting game.
Yep. Don't forget. Thank you to everybody watching at home. We hope you've enjoyed this. And thanks again to Britton and Steve for hanging out with me and covering the match. And Britton for saving the day with some pancakes over there on the West Coast.
Yep. Better.
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Yeah, there was a pancake emergency.
You have to fill me in later on the pancake drama.
Had to take a break so you can diffuse a toddler pancake emergency.
Well, that's serious business. So
It is serious business.
So join us tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern and 7:30 p.m. GMT. We're going to have Keith Randall versus Ed Herzig. And then we're going to have several more matches coming up over the course of the rest of the week. There's a couple people playing on Wednesday, but don't worry about that match. You don't want to watch that one. It's not going to be good. Just skip that one. But I think we're going to have a doubleheader coming up on Friday and then a match on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to have plenty of stuff for you to watch all next weekend. So keep your eyes open for announcements for that. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe to Dash 28 and you'll get notifications as I schedule the matches before I post about them on Facebook or wherever. So if you're interested in knowing a little earlier when they're going to be, please do that. Otherwise, thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you next time on Dash 28 Live. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.